Zach Gray up to come onto him as well. And it's game time.
It is indeed, yeah, and it's going to be playing up against Broadbent too. Who gets the tap? I reckon it might have been Broadbent only marginally. The first real touch, no, taken off the ball was Collison. A nice tackle. Bedgood flicks one out and off they go. Nice string of handballs. Alex Carr could be a dream start from the top of the table. Maffra side, the visiting side, just offline, a minus score in the opening seconds first quarter, Paul Carter.
One behind 1 point Maffra's way, and that took about 20 seconds. That's on the Harvey Norman Computers Gippsland scoreboard.
So Hector goes short and finds Collison. Collison's kick wasn't as good as it needs to be, and it needs to be really good too. They found Stevenson, but they found him under pressure. Stealing the ball there was O'Brien from Maffra. Can he find a teammate? He can't. Fighting hard in there is Benny Brunt, but the umpire will win out. A pack of around about a dozen players around that ball. It's in the left forward pocket underneath the scoreboard. Maffra deep into attack and leading by a point.
Scratchy start early there as looked to be John Butcher hammers it towards the top of the square. Carr again putting his head over the ball, knocks it forward, falls out the back there, looks to be Forrest. Handball over the top, smothered nicely there by Danny O'Brien, who's worked hard from the wing area down inside 50. Putting some pressure on inside 50 for the Maffra side. We'll have a ball up 45 metres around from Maffra's goal.
Probably the best conditions we've had for footy for about a month too, so it's going to be great skills and it's going to be sharp as well.
Yeah, no excuses today. Ball thrown back in. Attempting to take it out of that throw-in was Johnston. Couldn't quite get a handle on it. But coming through was Zach Gray, possibly just 25 metres out from Traralgon's goal, so right directly in front. And Maffra applying some pressure. Another tap down by Johnston. Found his teammate in Robbins. Robbins couldn't find any room to move whatsoever. So let's see if Troy Makepeace can bust this pack open.
This falls down to Zach Gray, hacked out of mid-air by Connor Ambler, goes into the centre circle, bouncing away there, leading the race there is Hutz, tracking away from his goal, gets a nice feedback handball to James Reid, handballs out wide to Renoy kicks high and long out to the wing, contest out wide, putting a good spoil on there is Tate Marsh, and sees the ball out of bounds for a boundary throw in true centre wing, out of side here. Traralgon Rec Reserve, 2 minutes gone inside this first term.
So the outer side of the ground, the outer side wing almost directly. It'll be Plemming to do the work. It'll be doing it against Broadbent. A tap down, finds a Maffra player. I reckon it could be Channing, and he's taken ball and all. So there'll be a bounce down. So Maffra
stoppages early.
Yeah, I reckon there could be, and that's natural. But geez, you can see already Maffra as Broadbent gets the tap. It falls in the hands of Maffra again. A push in the back will go Maffra's way, outer side of the ground. So the visitors through Ed Carr will have an opportunity to send that ball forward. They lead by a point. We've only played 2.5 minutes first quarter. Ed Carr wants to draw the man on the mark and give it off, and he does just that. Gives his teammate Renoy a little bit of pressure. He's equal to it. Dances around. Gee, that's a bit too easy. And I reckon a Maffra player there took a short step that opened the door for Traralgon to defend. But they overrun it, and overrunning it, I reckon, was Zach Gray. But the umpire will come in and pay a free kick directly in front of goal. The free kick will go to Jack Johnston, who was contesting the ruck from the boundary throw in a moment ago, but he was taken high by the Maroons defender.
7 goals last week, Johnston, so he might be keen on another big day.
Okay, so he's got the perfect start to get the perfect opportunity for him to get a start on the board with another goal. As you heard from Paul Carter, 7 last week. He may have his first and the team's first inside 2.5 minutes first quarter here. Traralgon Rec Reserve. A 1 point margin could turn into 7 after this kick. And it's hit the post. Hit the right upright post. So not the start he wanted, but Traralgon breathed a sigh of relief. Second score on the board, Paul Carter.
Yeah, 2 behind 2 points. We're at the 4 minute mark of the first quarter. Harvey Norman Computers gets
danger again coming inside from that kick in. Another turnover. O'Brien marks, puts it to the top of the square. Johnson sets himself, puts the one hand, gathers at ground level. This time he bangs the ball through. First goal on the board for the Eagles. Another costly turnover from the Maroons coming outside from behind.
Great call there, Makey, and it wasn't a great kick out there by the Traralgon player. Just found Daniel O'Brien there of Maffra, who got the ball in real quick, and Johnson was just in the right spot at the right time. Finished off what he should have done in the first place to get Maffra's first goal of the afternoon.
and takes the score to 1-2-8 Maffra. They've had the only 2 inside 50s and scored 3 times in 4.5 minutes in the first quarter. Harvey Norman Computers Gippsland scoreboard. Traralgon yet to go inside their 50-metre arc.
I like the way he used his body too, Johnson. He didn't take the ball, but he gave him enough room to get the possession. Ball bounced down and they go through again. Alex Carr this time. The 1-2 from 55. Kicks at 55. Just offline, through for another minor score, boys.
They Alex Carr started the game off incredibly well. That's his second centre clearance already, so maybe Traralgon needs to start looking at that.
Jackson Hall this time brings the ball in. This time finds a target. Looks out wide, finds Ben Johnson. Handballs over the top to St. Marsh.
Dear.
And both players on different pages there. Missing a handball, goes out of bounds for a boundary throwing 45 metres around from Maffra's goal. Marsh and Johnson not on the same page. Over boundary throw in again, pressure for Maffra to be able to put on to the Maroons. This time it's Butcher there for Bedgegood, for Maffra, taking the ruck contest. Tries to give off the don't argue, and we'll have a ball up just outside forward 50 here for the Eagles.
Yeah, big ask for the inch there too. He's got Butcher, and there's an incredible size difference there for the people that listen at home. There's a great size difference there.
So 55 metres out. I know Collison threaded the handball through, couldn't get it out. Another free kick, and I reckon it's compliments of being in front to Channing. Channing with the ball for the Eagles. 55 out for Maffra. Kick to the pocket, and it is punched forward by Cameron. And now we've got a umpire giving another free kick. So Maffra playing in front, getting the free kick. They went short looking for, they couldn't find, in fact they could, but Carr had to give the ball back. The kick came from Jack Johnston, who's kicked one, and guess what? He may have the chance for his side second.
I think going against his favour is, I think there's a slight breeze going from left to right of the dial, and they're kicking to the left-hand side of the dial. So it'll be a tough ask here for the Eagles.
He's going
forward
to punt
in
kick.
Johnson. He's going to line it up. Ball's on its way. Umpire does a move. He raises the right hand. But it drifts across at the last minute across the face of goal. That's the second time. He's just got to stop calling the goals, Johnson, because the first one hit the post and that one drifted across the face for a minor score.
1-4-10 Maffra on the Harvey Norman Computers Gippsland scoreboard. They've played 7 minutes in the first quarter. Traralgon still yet to score. Maffra scored 5 times with 4 inside 50s.
So 1-4, and Johnson's kicked 1-2 of those as Traralgon bring the ball back into play. Can they find a man grandstand side they went searching for? Couldn't find White Oak. He's got the long sleeves on today. They've got the numbers, but they can't get their hands on the ball cleanly. And finally, a tackle over the boundary line by the ruckman, Broadbent, evens up the competition.
Speaking of forward 50s, Paul, Traralgon registered one?
No.
No.
I don't think they've even been outside the square.
And we don't get it past the centre circle, have the Maroons. The boundary throwing right on 50. Putting his head over the ball there is Collison. Busting through the pack there is Ed Carr. And 2 Maroons swamp the Traralgon Maffra opponent there in Alex Carr. The Carr boys getting their hands dirty early here for the Eagles. Another ball up 60 metres out from goal. Another free kick, this time in the ruck contest.
How's the free kick count going there, Paul?
5-0, Maffra's way.
On the way of Fleming, handballs back around to Robbins, gets it inside 50, flying is Johnson.
He's got it.
Strong hands, 3 deep in the pack, flying over the top of Bailey Cameron, who had to stand under that one with courage. Johnson equal to the task, takes a strong mark on a line-up directly in front of goal, 30 metres out.
I tell you, 7 goals last week, 1 already. Confidence levels must be sky high. I reckon give him the 50 and get out of his way.
Sets himself, bit of a stutter step, ball on the boot, doesn't celebrate this time until he knows it's gone through, straight through the middle. Johnson has 2, the Eagles have 2, they kick away, 16-point margin.
It was a great kick inside there by Robbins too. He wanted to move the ball real quickly, he did. Johnson, a great pack mark as well, in between 2 Traralgon players, gets his second for the afternoon.
2-4-16 is the Maffra score with now 6 scoring shots with 5 inside 50s in this 9-minute period of the first quarter, and Traralgon still yet to score.
Hey boys, last week after 15 games he'd scored 16 goals. In the last 40 minutes, 4 quarters and 5 minutes, he's kicked another 9. I mean, where's he been all year? Here they go. Collison grabs along, loses his footing, gets taken high. Play on's the call now. He could be in a spot of bother after that bounce down. So grandstand wing side. Collinson just lost his footing at a crucial stage, so there'll be a bounce up.
He did play back a fair bit as well too, so they used to. I think he's a bit of a swing man for Maffra, and he's really found his niche now forward.
Not wrong. Here we go. Traralgon will go forward. Can they break inside forward 50? Dropping the ball and taking the ground hard too. They mean business today. Play on's the call. The advantage by Carr goes long. Cameron takes a mark, plays on quickly, feeds it off, and off they go. Nicely done through Hall. Goes over the top. Now they've got some runners. One of those runners is Garrett. Looks inside the corridor towards centre half foot. Oh, gee, the kick was good. The lead was great. The hands were poor. The turnover is Maffra's, and they're going to change direction.
Cabernoy brings it out near side, looking to find Tom Jolly. Has a sit on Tate Marsh and Marks. Left half-back flank. Looking long down the line. Oh, nice kick over the top. Does it get there? Yes, it does. Falls in the hands of Brunt. Wheels on quickly. A scrappy kick forward.
That's through.
Goes through all legs. That lands in the hands of Bedgood. Runs into one of the easiest goals he'll get of his career. Bangs it through. Maffra have 3 on the board inside 10 minutes.
You know your afternoon's going to go pretty poorly when the ball bounces through 4 players and Bedgood found himself out the back.
I don't like the look of these boys.
And ran into an open goal. The one thing I just want to make mention, the last time we saw John Butcher, he hasn't played for about 6 weeks. He's moving incredibly freely now, because the last time we did see him, he did look injured and very, very sore. Very good signs for Maffra.
And it's a 22-point lead at the 10-minute mark of the first quarter to Maffra. They're 3-4-22, and Traralgon still yet to score.
All right, ball thrown back up. Let's see if we can get a centre break. It was Fleming that got the tap down. He couldn't find a teammate, but guess what? Doesn't matter. They can find a free kick. Channing feeds it off. The 1-2 on the end of it is Carr. Carr from 70 goes to within Johnston, and he gets another one. Uh-oh, guys. Uh-oh. Johnston's kick 2. They are on fire, and this man is leading the charge. As Paul Carter said, he kicked 7 last week. He's got the chance to kick 3 within a few minutes.
I thought you were going to break down a bit of Beyonce.
I was waiting. I got up too. Oh, no, this is not good, boys. This could be dangerous.
Johnson for his 3rd. Inside 12 minutes. Ball on the boot. Lays back on it nicely. Goes straight over the top of the goal umpire's head. That's his 3rd. Maffra's 4th.
Well, the Traralgon camp's just going to have to go back to some simple fundamentals now. It's man on man, especially in that middle part of the ground. The Carr boys have been incredible this first 10 minutes of the game.
And it's a 28-point lead now to Maffra, 4-4-28 to no score by Traralgon. On the Harvey Norman computers, Gippsland scoreboard, and it's only 12 minutes in.
Well, they're going to float one spare. It looks like it's going to be LaPlace that goes down and maybe drops some of that gap that Johnston's finding himself in. Probably a good decision. I'm not sure he got that tap, but Fleming went close. Ground level was Troy Forrest, but again, they're just being thrown off the boys by blokes playing against kids, and Traralgon are the kids, unfortunately, and they're finding it pretty hard to stop this Maffra machine. Inside forward 50 again. They go. Another free kick Maffra's way. We'll check those shortly. They play on quickly, and on the end of that kick was Carr. Carr marks in the top of 50.
Give it to Johnson.
Looks inside. Give it to Johnson. It's a call from Boxer, and the lead's on here. It might be Butcher got 2 hands to it, couldn't quite drag it in. Coming in was Whiteoak, and all players are beaten by the boundary. Just 25 metres out from Maffra goals. The scoreboard is just above where the boundary umpire is, and it reads Maffra 4-4, Traralgon yet to score.
Boundary throw in, 15 metres around from Maffra's goal. Can they get another one on the board? Goes Butcher, nice tap over the back, falls in the hands there of Cameron. His handball is cut off, and we'll have another ball up 20 metres out from goal directly in front. Hayden Hector, the last one to get up off the deck there. Then he ball up. Butcher works to the front, taps it to the corridor. Working hard there for Traralgon. It's Connor Little. Clearing kick, goes outside defensive 50. Leading the race back there is Whelan. Has Marsh there for company. Marsh sees the ball over for a boundary throw-in. Outside defensive 50 there for the Maroons. They can take a little bit of a breather, but they need to be on their game, because this Maffra machine, as Poppy has said, just going to be likely to pump this one back inside 50.
Those free kicks are going to come every time when Maffra's over the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're the ones hunting balls at the moment.
They are, and they're hunting very well too. Vicious, quick kick from the pack. Gains 20 or 30 metres, and Traralgon ease the pressure. It's only momentarily, though, because the kick inside forward 50 comes again. Guess what? Free kick again, and it's going to go the way of Daniel Bedgood. who will have a kick for goal on a 45-degree angle from 30 metres. They've had 8 scoring shots, boys. We've played 14 minutes.
Free kicks as well,
It's 9-0 free kick.
Wow.
He's playing in front. The free kick was there.
The free kicks are there. We're not saying anything
No. The
different.
free kick was definitely there.
Here we go, Benchgood. When you're on fire, you're on fire. This team's on fire. Can Benchgood twist that knife a little bit more? He can't. Goes across the face of goal. There's a sigh of relief from Traralgon supporters, but they won't have time to breathe because the pressure's going to be applied even after they bring this ball back into play.
Comes in there to Josh Twite. Chips him forward. He's smothered. Kick off the boot there. Hector has to put his head over it. Does well. Kick outside defensive 50. Falls in the hands there of Little. Little handball out wide to Daltrey. Daltrey goes long down the line. Playing in front there nicely for the Eagles was Lambourne. Falls out the back there to Davis. Davis to Hutz. Hutz switches the play to Renoy. Bounces 30 metres from his defensive goal. Chips one over the top. Oh, has a good look at it there. Does Will Broadbent. Puts a fist on it. Turnover. Great smother though there by Renoy. Locks the ball in.
Free kick, 10-0.
Free kick again. Going the way of the Eagles. And
I'm
it's
not
going to
sure.
be that man.
No, it was a silly free kick.
I'm not sure, Makey, but I reckon the only forward 50 that Traralgon have had is compliments of Maffra
Kicking the ball back
inside their defensive 50. Anyway, they go laterally this time. Well, taking his eye off the pill was Lambourne, and now he's got himself into a contest. Thumps it off the ground, finds his teammate in Robbins. And Benchgood went with that as well. Now the pressure's on. Laprise fights hard, and they need to fight hard. Collinson in there as well. The umpire's called a free kick. Guess what, boys? Put your hands together. The first free kick of the afternoon for the Maroons, and it goes the way of Hayden Hector.
Hector, defensive side of the wing, going to switch. It's going to be dangerous. Bradshaw, pressure. Doesn't quite get there in time. Just trying to figure out who it is out wide there. Looks to be Little. Plays on inside his opponent. Chips one inside to Collison. Marks right in the centre circle. Chips one out wide to half-forward flank. That's a nice kick. Finds Wide Oak on a strong lead. Marks 60 metres out. Chips one over the top. Great work there in defence there from Geishan. Strong fist on the ball. Sees the ball out of bounds for a boundary throwing right in front of the deck here at Traralgon. One of the few occasions it's been down to the right-hand side of the field here at Traralgon Rec Reserve. It's been all the Eagles. 16 and 3/4 minutes gone. It's Maffra 4-5-29. Traralgon yet to score.
Okay, so Broadbent gets front position and gets a free kick. Compliments of that. Boxer told the boys what to do. Play in front. You've got half a chance. He played in front. He got the free kick. Now he needs to make the most of it. A kick to the top of the square. Guess what? Free kick behind play. We might see some action on the Traralgon scoreboard.
Yeah, there was holding the goal square there too. Hudson was just caught off balance as well, and he just tried to hold him up just before he could get his lead off. And then I think it's young.
Is it Van Warden?
Is it Van Warden? Yep. So he has the opportunity now for get Traralgon's first major of the afternoon.
I'm not sure that he's played a lot of senior footy, but he gets his chance today, that's for sure. I'm not saying that it's his first game, but certainly he hasn't got a whole lot under his belt, and this should be bread and butter for a key forward. I've seen him play reserves. He plays okay. He's a big bulk of a lad, and off the boot, bang, kicks a goal. Well done. It eases the pressure and it stops the rot as Traralgon finally hit the ball board. Compliments of a free kick behind play and a goal by Jacob Van Warden.
And that brings the margin back in Maffra's favour to 23 points. We've played 18 minutes in the first quarter. Harvey Norman Computers Gippsland scoreboard. Maffra 4-5-29. Traralgon now 1 goal straight 6.
Well, probably to say that they needed that one is a massive understatement. We've gone 18 minutes. It's been all Maffra, 9 scoring shots, and that's Traralgon's first. And they got a much-needed goal there through Van Warden as the ball comes back to the centre of the ground.
A lot of outside run, but they haven't got players getting in, as Boxer alluded to, actually getting the ball.
I was just about to say too, Bobby, it's the Maffra midfielders that are really dominating early, and there's great work there by Fleming. Takes it out of the ruck, kicks it inside 50. Bedgegood just gets dragged off the ball. Hacked kick, falls in the hands of Jackson Hall. Sweeping handball. 1-2, ends up in the hands of Broadbent, tackled from front on from Carr. Turn over to Alex Carr. Handballs out wide, looking for Jolly. Jolly handballs inside. Bit of a turnover there, and can't win the ball there is Robbins, and Traralgon can relieve the pressure through Collison.
And they go towards the outer side of the ground where Garrett was an option, but he was beaten to the ball by the boundary, so there'll be a boundary throw-in by the young female boundary umpire over the other side of the ground. It's just short of right half-forward flank. Maffra's advantage at the moment. Nearly 20 minutes gone first quarter. They lead by 23 points, but Traralgon from the half-back line start to build away of players, and Collison's on that wave, but his kick's been smothered. And so Maffra again will share this ball around. Some good body work though, and reaping the benefit of that was Hall, who kicks inside forward 50. All they need's a bounce, and that's Lviv, who goes the 1-2. Yeah, Boxer, you're looking at me smiling, and I'm smiling as I said it because I couldn't know how to pronounce it. Lviv.
Yeah, we're going to get it right eventually.
Lviv. So Lviv has his opportunity, but he was beaten to it by the boundary also. But they are, boys, inside forward 50.
Forward 50 as working the ruck contest forward is Will Fleming. Ends up out in the hands of Connor Little for Traralgon. Gets it to the top of the square. Flying in from the side is Max Lucky. A great contest from his Maffra opponent there. Sees the ball out through for a rush behind. Quick play on. Comes in fight side to O'Brien. Gathers on the half volley. Sweeps the handball inboard to Walker. Walker through half-back flank. Looking over the top, but it's all Traralgon back there, and Jackson Hall marks. Attacking side of half forward. Handball over the top to Twite. Twite looking for his teammate there in Hector. He's under pressure, just hacks a handball forward. O'Brien, no, it's not O'Brien, it's Davis. Handballs inside to Walker. Walker finds Butcher, and a quick handball into Carr. Carr through half-back flank, looking for Butcher.
Yeah, and John Butcher leads the way. The big, he could be a good utility. Plays ruck, plays forward. At the moment, he's in the midfield, but the handball wasn't as good as it needed to be, and Connor Little gets a free kick. Not sure what it was for. Boxer throws up his arms, and I reckon there was a few Maffra players thinking the same. They're in the midfield, they've got possession, but it's under pressure, and the pressure finally broke Traralgon as Butcher gets the ball again. And I speak of Danny Butcher, goes to his right and finds a teammate in Channing. Channing gives off, and off they go. It's now Renoy, who takes a bounce and kicks to inside forward 50. Where's Johnson, they scream. He's right on the edge of the ball now and fighting hard for it. He's got 3, but he won't get his hands on this one because Traralgon have got the numbers and they've got the safety of the boundary, and they find that safety.
What's been good though for Traralgon is they've just tweaked their pressure levels now. They've just actually increased their pressure, and they're forcing those turnovers to Maffra. And they've just stabilised the game a little bit now.
Yeah, spot on there, Boxer, as we have a boundary throw in, 45 metres out from Maffra's goal. Bedgood knocked off the ball. Good work there by Broadbent. Umpire called play on, but there's quite a few hands on the ball there. And we'll have a ball up right from where the boundary throw-in came in, still 45 metres out from goal. 45-degree angle. Broadbent looks to be Bedgood. Both of them fight for it. Hacked out of the air there from Traralgon, but leading the race is Hutz, and marks in front of his opponent there in Van Warden. Hutz comes inboard as Walker. Walker can switch it up again, and he does. Goes to Lambourne. Lambourne in the centre circle. Chips one over the top. Finds Davis. Wheels around. Chips again forward. Ed Carr, who was involved in that ball up at 45 metres out inside 50 earlier on. Traralgon got the clearing kick. No one looked to man up Ed Carr, and he marks unopposed. 45 metres out directly in front. Will be kicking from about just inside 50. Makes his way in through centre half forward. It's a ball on the boot from 48. Nice off the boot. Hangs to the left. Can't quite fade it back. Goes through for another minor score.
Takes Maffra to 4 goals, 6:30 on the Harvey Norman Computers Gippsland scoreboard. They lead by 23 points. Traralgon 117, and we've played 23 minutes now in the first.
Well, yep, we have indeed. We've seen some magic moments early thanks to Monticello's, and Johnston was on the end of most of those. Don't forget magic moments for Monticello's. Grant Scotch, 700 mil for $33 as Maffra go forward again, but Traralgon have done it nicely through Johnson. They go over the top and they find Forrest, and off they go from half back. A searching kick to half forward. Picking it up on the half volley was Lucky, but he wasn't so because the ball spilled out of his hands, and now it goes back to Hutz, who feeds it off, and off they go looking for some work in the corridor. Oh, a handball on his knees. Didn't find a teammate, but Reed picks it up. And now they come grandstand side, and guess what? It's all Josh Davis.
Josh Davis on the left half-back flank. Chips one forward. Alex Carr marks on the wing. Aims a handball outside, goes inside. Pressure as he kicks. It's all O'Brien back there. Great work by Marsh. Gets a fist on it. Goes to the back. Oh, just bumbles through some legs, and it falls out there to Jesse Ross. Ball on the boot, under pressure, can't put it through. And we have another behind there for the Eagles.
I'll tell you what, they're playing under pressure, and a missed kick again touched off the hand And what should have been a simple kick in from a behind turned into a possible disaster, but a smother at the last minute is another minor score.
That's the third one I've counted
Inside.
in the first quarter where they've kicked the ball in and turned the ball over straight away.
So they've gone longer this time, and I tell you what, the mark by Bailey Cameron was paid. Possibility of a 50, it wasn't paid. Bailey Cameron in his defensive 50, he's got a short option and he chooses that one. That's Hector. Hector's got another short option and off they go again. This time it's Little. He looks to go inboard. He'll go along the line, you'd think. Broadbent's his option, and even beyond that he might go. He goes beyond that where the kick is poor in the end. It goes out of play on the full as he searched for Cameron Whiteoak.
Is it just my eyesight too? But just the short game of Traralgon, even the ball's not even spinning properly when they're kicking the short ball in. So you're not going to be able to mark it if you're not going to get it to spin right, fellas. Come on.
The breeze is starting to pick up a little bit, as Maffra also starting to pick up a little bit too. Can you believe that? Luckily this time Jesse Ross overran the ball. He got an unfavourable bounce. So at around about right half forward flank, Maffra into attack and leading by 25 points, Boxer. There'll be a bounce down.
Poppy, I'll just quickly go around the grounds thanks to Harvey Norman Furniture, and it's a drawn game up in Sydney, and it's 23-minute mark of the second quarter, 6-2-38 the Swans to 5-8-38 the Saints.
From the ball up, we have a free kick, left half-back flank there for Traralgon. Collison is the recipient as we're just coming up on 26 minutes. Goes inboard, dangerous kick, goes over the back. Hutz puts his head over it, falls back to Davis. Daltrey can put some pressure on and does really well. Hutz butters up his work. Daltrey again puts his head over it, wins himself a free kick. As Boxer has alluded to throughout the call so far, get your head over the footy, you win yourself a free kick, Paul.
First 10 free kicks went to Maffra and the last 6 have gone to Traralgon.
Just trying to even things up a little bit as Hector marks. Right half forward, 55 metres out from goal. Looks to go long. Does so. Gets good purchase on it.
Wow.
And
no
good
way.
direction as well. Hector, that could be our goal of the day thanks to Gippsland Live. Hayden Hector from outside 50.
What a great kick, and he capitalised on the fact that there was no one in the goal square. Fleming worked his way back, and just a great block there. I couldn't pick up who the Traralgon player was, but a much-needed goal to Traralgon.
That goal went to Hayden Hector, Boxer, and on the Harvey Norman computers, Gippsland score takes Traralgon to 2-1-13. They trail down by just 19 points. Maffra 4-8-32.
I'll tell you what, Maggie, you take a 3-goal margin at quarter time given how the game started.
Yeah, disappointing for Maffra. They've had all the play. They've had 12 scoring shots to 3 and still only an 18-point margin, a 19-point margin, sorry, as the ball's back in the middle.
So Broadbent got the tap. Fleming did some ruck work. The couldn't get out. Compliments of a good Hector tackle who kicked that great goal just a moment ago.
Love the contest between Broadbent and Fleming. Those two young, big fellas have done a great job so far.
Spot on, mate. It's been good to watch. We're taking hit-outs there, Paul.
Here I am. Fleming has had 8 to Broadbent's 10.
Just
Had another one down to Fleming. It comes out to Butcher. Can't quite find the handle. Does in the end. Handball's out wide. Finds a teammate there in Whelan. Handball's over the top to Butcher. Back to Whelan. Got some pressure from behind. Kicks it just inside 50. Great work by the Praise. Really strong marking in front of John Butcher. Has to go back behind the mark as the momentum carried him forward.
Well, that's what they put him there for, didn't they? Just to block those gaps, and he did it well, beautifully. He had to put his body on the line, but, gee, good strong hands under pressure.
Very nice work. This is where they've struggled, though, is when they've had a free kick, a mark, or a kick in. Again, the ball outside defensive 50. Switches it up to Hector. Hector chips it forward and finds Johnson. Handball's inboard to Little, under pressure. Handball's over the top to Daltrey. Bounces. Handball's out wide. Finds Hall. Great pressure.
Nice
Construct the tackle, though. Kicks it long down the line to half forward. And another fist over the top there from James Hutt. Sees the ball out for a boundary throw-in. 80 metres around from goal for Traralgon.
So, Maker, they've improved those two areas. They've got their kicking right. That little short game is starting to improve a little bit, and they've increased their pressure.
Yeah, and I reckon Butcher, the coach of Maffra, might be just a little bit frustrated as well from what I can gather. What started off so well has started to even up somewhat. You don't want to give a side like Traralgon room to move. Hector's putting his signature on this game. He tried to bust the pack. He's beaten by the final siren. So at quarter time, boys, it was Maffra 4 goals, 8-32. Traralgon 2:13. Well, thanks to Carpet Country.
What's going on there?
I tell you what, my tongue's a lot longer than I want it to be sometimes, and that's a story for another day. Listen, we'll get back to some of the other features and around the grounds, and we'll be doing that shortly as well, thanks to Harvey Norman Furniture. But the game's back on again, and your commentator is Troy Makepeace.
Davis gets a clearance, finds Robbins leading up off half forward. His kick forward goes too big there for his teammate, and Gavin Stevenson wins himself a free kick. That's the last 7 going the way of Traralgon after Maffra. The recipients of the first 10 free kicks of the game. Stevenson looking dangerously inside the corridor. Nice kick, nice one-handed, reeled it in by Broadbent. 1-2 handball with Connor Ambler. Broadbent goes forward with a wobbly kick over the top. LaPraise. Great spoil though. Renoy back there as is Walker. Renoy toe pokes it out towards the boundary. Should see this out for a boundary throw-in. Is working back there as well. Is Tate Marsh for Traralgon. We see the ball out for a boundary throw-in right on the junction of the 50-metre line and the boundary in Traralgon's forward 50.
So let's see if the Maroons, the home side, can't get the first score on the board. They're inside or they're right on the cusp, as you heard from Makey, of their forward 50. I reckon White, in fact, it was indeed the big fella for Traralgon in Broadbent who got the tap down, but he couldn't find a teammate. In fact, the umpire will take control for a ball up in the opening minutes of this second quarter. I'll give you some around the ground scores. I reckon we've got a couple of updates. You pop in whenever you're ready, Boxer, in a break in play, and there's one right there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, we have 2, Poppy, and we'll start with the TRFN Gippsland League. Bairnsdale 128, Langatha, hello, 9761. Druin 3-4-22 to 1 Thaggy 5-4-34. And while we go back to play, we've got another bit of a break now as well. So it's just gone out of bounds on the far side. Murray 2-3-15 to Warrigal yet to score, and Sale, an inaccurate scale 1-6-12 to Moore with just the 1 point.
It's a bit of a lopsided game there.
There is. Leongatha turned up. They have really turned up as well. In the mid-Gippsland, it is a fantastic game up there at Thorpedale, and it's quarter time there, 3-1-19 apiece against Yallourn North and Hill End.
Okay, Hayden Hector drags the ball inside forward 50. They're going to threaten again. They've got some numbers around the ball. Collinson feeds it off to Ambler, who gives a little bit of ground, but it's enough room for a teammate in Jackson Hall to settle. Kick to the top of the square. He needs a winner. All they got hands on it, and they got people at the fall of the ball as well. On the end of it's going to be LaPraise. He waits, grabs the ball. He's grabbed without it, I thought. Play on's the call. The player was Geishan that laid the tackle. It falls in the hands of Lalive. And I tell you what, there's some real good pressure from Maffra to block all the gaps that were starting to appear just 20 metres from Traralgon goals, boys. It's Traralgon 2-1-13, Maffra 4-8-32.
Great pressure there from the Eagles to cause a stoppage. Little overruns it for Traralgon. Handball by Butcher.
Free kick behind play, Traralgon. Oh,
see that one there, Poppy?
I didn't see it at all. Just saw the call, and I tell you what, I recken the Eagles might be a bit unlucky there.
I think he might have just called the wrong way.
He called the wrong way.
He's called it for a sling tackle, guys. So
okay.
He's just given us the right
looks to be Butcher
demonstration there for that.
Yeah, I saw the arm go up, and he was put in the wrong way.
So Butcher is the recipient of the free kick. The ball did get cleared.
So, Makey, while we wait, now I can give you another score in the North Gippsland Football League. Another big first quarter. Yarram 4-10-34. The TTU yet to score.
Got some AFL scores there too, Bob.
And yeah, we do. In the first game there is North Melbourne. They lead Melbourne 5-4-34 to 4-3-27. And in the other game, it is half time, and it is 39 apiece between the Swans and the Saints.
All right, Cameron with the ball runs through the centre, runs into a Maffra brick wall, and it's reinforced with iron. But he got a free kick for too high, so he plays on quickly with a free kick and gives it to Collison, the former coach. Now an integral part of their midfield, gives to Hector. He's been busy, and he's been very, very good as well. Finds Tate Marsh inside forward 50. Again they go, but cut off beautifully by the big man in William Fleming.
Fleming goes back to the same way it came, finds Geishan over the top, left half-back flank, wheels around, going to go quickly and long to the wing. Johnson on a strong lead from half-forward, marks on centre wing. He again wheels inside, goes to half-forward, working his man under the ball there is Butcher. But, the boundary line's going to beat himself and Jackson Hall. Boundary throw in just inside forward 50 for the Eagles as they look to get their first score on the board. 4.5 minutes gone in this second term, and thanks to the Green and Gippsland scoreboard, we have Traralgon 2-1-13, Maffra 4-8-32.
It's incredible though too. Maffra haven't kicked the goal since the 11-minute mark of the first quarter. So Traralgon have really taken a little bit of control here, and the scoreboard doesn't reflect it.
That man there is one of those to get the Traralgon team on its way. It's Mark Collison. Finds LaPraise on a strong lead. LaPraise comes back inboard to repay the favourite.
Take it high then.
No 50-metre penalty as Collison's a bit slow to get up. It looks to be...
He's in a spot of bother. I tell you what, the umpire hasn't called it. Even the Maffra players come in to lend a hand. Now the umpire's played it, but...
sorry, Poppy, to cut you off there. It's because the umpire in charge has gone back to the other umpire, and the other umpire that was out of the play has called a 50 to him. So... looks like Collison might be in a bit of a bad way as well. The towel's there, so there's definitely blood there as well. We don't have Scud, who normally would wear the four eyes.
He can't see very well.
Because he can't see. We probably would have picked this up pretty quick.
So Collison took the ball. He was taken high. The umpire didn't call it initially. The Maffra play, I don't think there was any malicious intent because he was actually the first person there to support Collison. But, yeah, Collison's got up with a face full of blood. So we're just waiting for him to come off, and coming onto the ground will be Connor Little. But importantly, Traralgon will have the ball, and they'll have the ball through Jackson Hall, who is capable of threatening the goals, and that would be a great result, albeit it comes at the cost of Collison going off.
What's interesting, Poppy, is that Collison had the free kick or mark on centre wing. It was a 50-metre penalty. Now, by my calculations, centre squares go for about 40 metres.
Yeah.
And he's still only just outside the centre square, so it's only about a 35-metre, 50-metre penalty. Hall plays on to Broadbent, runs into a bit of trouble. Marsh ducks inside a tackler, chips the ball to the top of the square. That could be another 50. Late on the scene there was John Butcher. Hector marks, 60 metres out.
Nice lead.
Wide open, a strong lead. Dropped
free
what
kick.
He should have taken, but he gets a free kick.
He's called it for a hold. Fellas, he's called it for a hold.
I thought he had the break and dropped a simple chest mark, to be honest.
Yes, well, we don't have the luxury of about 30
replay cameras. Yeah.
Replays.
You got
Yeah.
Well,
we've got boxing.
Like I said, we don't have the luxury. Wide open. Hard up on the boundary, out of side. Puts the ball on the boot. Has a bit of left to right action, but goes too far to the right and goes through for a minor score.
2-2-14. First score of the quarter has taken 7.5 minutes of this second quarter. Greenham Gippsland scoreboard 2-2-14 Traralgon, 4-8-32 Maffra.
Winston Geeshan for Maffra will bring the ball back into play. He plays on, kicks towards the outer side. Nice 60-metre leg. Finds a teammate. Dropping the ball, though, and opens the door for Traralgon to apply some pressure. They got the numbers, and they do it beautifully, though. Over the top, they go to Brunt. Brunt finds a teammate, the 1-2. I tell you what, just a little bit... haven't been as smooth as they were in the first 30 minutes. All of a sudden, the pressure that Boxer has told you from Traralgon has been applied, and they're a little bit suspect. Now the race is on. Who's going to be there first? It was going to be Traralgon through Daltrey. Kept his eye on the ball, even though he had some pressure coming from Bradshaw. The 1-2 from Hector, back to Daltrey again. Just short of left half forward, goes in the corridor, looks for LaPraise. One hand, can't take the ball down. At ground level, it was Butcher. Gives it over the top to Carr. Carr opens the door for Maffra through Reed, and Reed finds a teammate opposite side of the ground on the wing.
So on the outer wing, looks to be that Butcher. Comes inboard to Carr. That's Alex Carr. Just trying to catch the number on the outer side there.
I reckon you're right with Butcher.
Carr chips one over the top. Finds, looks to be Whelan. Whelan wheels around, and a great kick and a strong lead.
That's what you expect.
Good. Marks directly in front, 40 metres out. Great transition work there from the Eagles, and just controlling the tempo of the game through that 30 seconds there, and Bedgood's going to line up the goal directly in front. As that they go inside 50 on a rare occasion in this second term. Makes his way inside 50, kicks from 45, gets underneath it. The umpire does not move, straight over his head, and Bedgood gets his second.
Yeah, great transition there too. Well called, Makey. Maffra just able to use the ball a lot cleaner than they have in the last 7 minutes of this second quarter, and they hit Bedgood up on a great lead. 40 out, put it straight through the middle.
Yeah, Daniel Bedgood's second goal takes Maffra to 5-8-38 on the Greenham Gippsland scoreboard. They've got a 24-point lead over Traralgon, who are 2-2-14, coming up to the 10-minute mark of the second quarter.
So it'll be Broadbent v Fleming in the centre of Traralgon Recreation Reserve.
They just got them back on their terms, didn't they, fellas? Like Traralgon have got it. They just got one-on-one. They really dirtied the game up a little bit that first 8 or 9 minutes.
That was just their second inside 50 for Maffra for this quarter, up against Traralgon 6.
So they've had the play, but you feel as though Traralgon are hanging on, and when they've got a bit of room to move, Maffra can just make it look easy as they did. Broadbent flies high, and Fleming read the ball better, got the ball, but it falls in the arms of Hector, and now through Ambler they'll come grandstand sides. They find Daltrey. Daltrey gives it off to Forrest. His left leg needs to find a target. Does. Good play all round. Traralgon take a bow. The best piece of play. In fact, I've put it down as a Monticello's magic moment. Don't forget at Monticello's, you can get a slab of Coronas for $42.
42.
Absolute bargain, boys. That's less than $2 a stubby of Corona. Thank you very much. Here we go. Riley LaPraise has the mark. Important. In fact, it's Max Lucky who has the ball. It wasn't luck that has him with the ball. It was just good play. But he needs to convert, boys. He needs to make the most of it. Max Lucky rides it in. Off the boot. Looks okay. Tell you what, got the accuracy. Good work all round Traralgon. They edge closer on that scoreboard.
Great to see that Traralgon responded pretty much immediately when it took us 9 minutes to get our first goal of the quarter. They backed it up straight away with a great goal there to Lucky.
Taking Traralgon to 3-2-20 on the Greenham Gippsland score, where they still trail Maffra by 18 points. Maffra 5-8-38. We've played 11.5 minutes of the second quarter.
Collison back in the middle there for the Maroons. Looks to be patched up across the nose.
Look like his old beak look like yours now, mate. He's got it all bent all over his face.
I didn't go in hard enough to get me head knocked off. The boxer as players pile in. Spills out the back to Ed Carr. Handballs out the back to Whelan.
You ever heard the story of the pot and the kettle box?
He finds his teammate out wide in Channing. Left half forward flank. Goes inside 50. Johnson flies from the side. Takes a strong mark. Marks 45 metres out on a slight angle. His first look at this Loyang end of the Traralgon Rec Reserve. Chips one over the top. Has Channing, who's worked hard forward and finds it. Oh, no one's taken the mark. Channing's allowed to play on.
You're going to bring the ball back. But I tell you what, there was some confusion out there, Makey.
Why is that not play on?
Because the umpire was just not watching.
He's behind the mark.
You know, like, it was one of those things. He wasn't ready. I didn't even see him call time on, so I'm not sure why he had to call that back.
Well, I would have thought because he's over there right where the mark is, I would have thought that even if he's lining the player up, if he chooses to play on, then it should be play on. Nonetheless, Johnson has to go back and line up for goal. He'll be kicking from just on the 50-metre line.
Or maybe was it one of those forward ploys where you think you're going to pass it off, but the umpire already had control, just to make him look like he was sharing the ball around?
Yeah, sorry, Lockie.
Yeah.
Jack Johnson, he's got 3 boys.
He sits himself just in left half forward flank, just inside the square, making his way towards the 50. Will kick from just on the 50-metre line. Ball on its way.
Nice leg.
Wow.
Got the distance, got the accuracy. Johnson has his ball.
Oh, I told you. It was just a ploy just to get us offset there too. He's on fire at the moment, Johnson, and a 45-metre kick there and it sailed through goalpost high. So he's definitely in some rare form.
And it's back to a 24-point lead in Maffra's favour on the Greenham Gippsland scoreboard. 13 minutes played second quarter. The Eagles 6-8-44, Traralgon 3-2-20.
Well, they responded to the first. Let's see what the Maroons can do to the second of the quarter for Maffra. As you heard from Paul Carter, that margin skipped out to 26 points again. So the centre break important. It's going to be Broadbent up against Fleming. Fleming reads it well. He's done that a few times today. Quick left foot kick, falls in the arms of his teammate in Ross. Inside forward 50. Can you believe this, boys? Here we go.
Yeah, I can.
He might have a handful inside the first half of football, because taking a strong mark in front of the pack was Jack Johnson again.
He's got a great set of mitts, hasn't he, for a mid-sized player? He's got a strong set of hands.
This will be his 7th kick and could be his 5th goal.
And he was unlucky not to get the other 2, to be honest.
That's it, yeah.
One hit the post and one faded late across the face of goal.
So when you're on fire and you're kicking the ball as well as he, you'd almost put this down, wouldn't you? He'll kick it from 45. Actually, he'll kick it from 49. I reckon he's dragged that one, though. Or has he? Yeah, he has. Just to the left. And a minor score, yeah.
Put the Mozzer on him.
He's good at doing that, Poppy. He does that very well.
In fact, most people I know, I can moz them at any time I wish.
6:9:45 Maffra, 25-point lead over Traralgon, 3:2:20, 15-minute mark of the second quarter on the Greenham Gippsland scoreboard.
One thing we can talk about pre-game too, fellas, is the fact that the weather might play a bit of a factor too, in regards to maybe the exhaustion and not used to these conditions as well. So it'd be interesting to see how they manage the players later on in the afternoon.
I haven't seen too many players with sunscreen on this year, but there's a couple out there with sunscreen on, so a bit hotter than what we think, as Hall has the ball and flips it towards the outer side of the ground where Tate Marsh is the player with the ball, deep inside his own 50. They've gone one way, now they're going to bring the ball back through Collinson. He goes inside the defensive corridor and finds a teammate in Zach Gray. Gray's got one to his left, and it's a teammate with a bit of room in Benny Johnson. He plays on quickly. They're moving the ball well. So far, the possession's been good. Yench, Adam, left half-back.
No,
he
haven't.
It'll be one of his rare touches. Yench along the line. The kick's a long one. Maffra have got the front position, or have they? Broadbent skips it off. His handball put a teammate under pressure, but that pressure was illegal, and there'll be a free kick to Traralgon. And the free kick will go to Max Lucky.
Lucky on the near side wing. As Will Fleming from Maffra putting his hands over his head. Lucky chips it over the top. Connor Little takes a strong mark. It's some attention there from Jack Johnson.
Fleming copped a really big, hard front-on knock too. So he wants to come off, but the bench is saying, "Nah, stay out there."
Connor Little goes long. 30 metres out, inside 50. Hutt sets himself. Flying in from the side is that man Lucky, who was the one that chipped it over to Connor Little in the first place. He's tracked back really nicely, flying in from the side. Hutt's misread the spoil, and Lucky takes a strong mark. Looks to get his second for the quarter.
I'm not sure that he's got this distance in him. Just judging his last kick, I reckon he just struggled with distance before, but let's see. I'll put a curse on one player. I can do it again.
Yeah, you'll do it again. Maybe say nothing, Poppy.
He has. Lucky from just inside 50. Ball on its way. Hasn't got the distance as Poppy called it. And glances off a few hands inside the square.
It was just that little skip before he kicked. It just gave him, he just lost that little bit of distance.
It's a 24-point lead to Maffra at the 17-minute mark. They're 6:9:45 to Traralgon, 3:3:21.
For those that are listening, sorry, Poppy, at the ground, the scoreboard does read 6:10 to 3:2. I think Maffra have been accredited behind when it should have gone to Traralgon.
All right, so we'll fix it up, or the scoreboard will fix it up, and Paul Carter is on top of the game at the moment, as you'd expect.
I should have mentioned it before. Have you had your flu shot? If you're working with Poppy, you will need it.
You wouldn't, but mate, I'm serious. Yeah. Mate, I got a cold in round 2 and I haven't been able to throw it.
The plague.
Plays in now. The Maffra machine on a roll through Johnson. Is he up towards the outer side wing? He is, but dispossessed by Chance Daltrey, getting a little bit of the ball too. Traralgon on the right half-forward flank. They stop on the prop. Connor Little gives 20 metres, but they keep possession when they find Dylan Laprise. He goes inboard. The kick has found Thomas Bradshaw, the only Maffra player in a pack of 4 or 5. Butcher comes out and it bounces off his chest, and I reckon he's done his finger as well at the same time. He's not happy. The changes happened, and Collison goes inboard. Daltrey, handball over the top. This could be a goal. Nice transition, good finish. I tell you what, they've made something out of nothing, because it's Jacob Van Warden who gets his second of the afternoon, or is it Sam Lalieve? I reckon it's Sam Lalieve. Who kicked it through. I spat at the same time, but that happens, mate. When you get excited, good work, Sam Lalieve. The big fella in Warden was actually making his way to the boundary, in fact the interchange as we spoke, but all of a sudden Traralgon edged closer, boys.
It's an 18-point margin, which it means Traralgon's won the quarter by a point at this stage. 19 minutes into the second quarter, and the Greenham Gippsland scoreboard says Traralgon 4:3:27, Maffra 6:9:45.
How do you drop a chest mark like that? How?
Here we go. Collison gets the ball after that centre bounce, so he's starting to have an impact. He just needs to find a winner here. Lalieve, who kicked the last one, takes the ball beautifully, straightens up on the left leg, and he finds a teammate. He can't. Laprise is going to fight hard to keep it inside forward 50. Coming in to lend a hand is Geishan, and off they go. They do it through Reed on that left leg, but the kick's poor. And they had a play on the 4-metre free kick for Traralgon. Don't get upset, Boxer. Get even.
How a John Butcher chest mark now is going to probably cost them 2 goals when it was
why try to take it on your chest in these conditions, boys? Basic.
The big boxer is angry as Collison puts his head over the footy. Inside 50 there for the Maroons. The game is on their terms for the last couple of minutes. Narrowed the margin back to 18 points as Traralgon, led by Mark Collison. He's been dynamic throughout this quarter. He's going to take the ruck contest, actually. Hacked forward there by Fleming. Davis looks to handball up to Butcher. Butcher gathers. Handballs over the top. Finds his teammate there in Robbins. Robbins swung around and tackled. Gets a kick forward. Leading the race back there is Bailey Cameron. As Tom Jolly there for pressure. Cameron again puts his head over it. Wins himself the ball. Feeds a handball up to Jackson Hall. Another turnover comes to Bradshaw. Bradshaw handballs over the top to that man Johnson. Great work by Traralgon there to lock the ball up. And we should see a free kick going the way there of Traralgon.
What's the umpire doing? He's got a hand going both ways, the umpire.
It looks like he has one hand directed to where the free kick is and the other hand directed to where the who's winning the ball. There's another turnover going the way of Maffra. Sees a mark inside 50 there for Sam Robbins, just inside 50, right from Jack Johnson territory. And he'll go back as he's back to play, so he's backing himself here. He'll line up for goal, be kicking from just outside 50. Here's Sam Robbins. Studies his way in, kicks from 51. Nice looking boot. He's going to fade across the goal. Great work there by Bedgegood, keeps the play in. Handball over the top from Butcher.
Goal umpire said it crossed the line. Yeah.
Good call there, Poppy. We'll have a minor score.
All right.
19-point margin in Maffra's favour, 6-10-46 to Traralgon's 4-3-27 on the Greenham Gippsland scoreboard.
So we'll correct that scoreboard at half-time, I'm sure, and we're edging closer to it as we speak. 21 and a half minutes gone. They come in short. Hall to Collison, starting to have an impact on the game. He and Hector have been fighting hard. Chance Daltrey's been having a bit of an impact. They're starting to use the ball better. This time they find Benny Johnson. 3 possessions still inside their defensive 50, but they see they've got some numbers the grandstand side, so they run the ball this way, and the big fella in Broadbent will be the best option. But in front of the pack was Jackson Hall, who takes a strong mark in front of the deck with a good support of local Traralgon people. He goes inboard to Daltrey. Daltrey goes short also to Hector. Hector, I tell you what, they're possibly overusing the ball, but there's a method in their madness because Laprise has got some room to move.
He chips it up forward, looking for Yench. Yench marks strongly in front of Cade Renoy. Right half-forward flank there for the Maroons. Has just held up for play there. They zigzag their way to half-forward. His kick is a high and long and wide. It's going to bounce just inside the boundary line on that 50-metre junction. We'll have a boundary throw in 50 metres around from Traralgon's goal. 23 minutes, just coming up on 23 minutes gone. Yeah, the Greenham Gippsland scoreboard. Traralgon 4-3-27, Maffra 6-10-46. Boundary throw in. Comes to the back of the pack. Davis there for Maffra. Handballs over the top, finds Walker. He's tackled front on from Riley Laprise, and we'll have a ball up 35 metres from goal.
Just a quick round the grounds thanks to Harvey Norman Furniture in the AFL. The Swans 6-3-39. They trail the Saints 6-9-45.
All right, some players having an impact here too and putting their hand up for the Gippsland Isuzu player of the day, but a good strong mark to Dylan Laprise. At a side of the ground, he'll put his team within metres of the goals. They just need a winner right here. Can they find one? Punch down to the ground, good pressure, just 10 metres out. Quick kick from the pack, yes sirree! They've snuck one back beautifully. Good work by Traralgon. A innocuous quick kick from the pack, and I reckon it was Joshua Twite, who's a defender who's worked forward, and he's done it sensationally, boys, and all of a sudden we might have a game in our hands.
Just a 13-point margin now in Maffra's favour. They are 6-10-46. Traralgon 5-3-33. Greenham Gippsland scoreboard. 24 minutes played of the second quarter.
Well, Traralgon have got it back on their terms now. It's incredible. I think the errors of Maffra will be letting themselves down at the moment this quarter.
Good pressure from Traralgon.
The pressure has increased.
It's their midfield output as well. They've really quelled the likes of Ed Carr and Alex Carr. Johnson's finding his way in the middle now. Gets the clearance. Laprise flies in from the side. Gets a thump on it. Goes out towards the boundary. Goes to ground at not an opportune time. And not quite a free kick there for John Butcher. Had his head over the ball. Tackled front on. We'll have a boundary throwing right in front of the deck. As John Butcher just looks like he dropped that chest mark, missed the boundary umpire there on the ball back by.
You know what, though?
5
He's
minutes.
that sort of player, Butcher. When he's hot, you can't stop him, and when he's not, he could be horrible. He's just having a dirty day so far.
Trainer has left a towel out on the ground, just getting that returned by the central umpire. Boundary throw in, 50 metres around from goal. Fair pack around this contest. As looks to be Butcher, tries to tap it over the back, goes and butters up his work, gets a handball out, looking for his teammate there in Benny Brunt. Can't find the handle. Good pressure there from the Maroons, deep inside defensive 50. And we'll have another boundary throw in. 15 metres closer to goal in favour of the Eagles. They would love to get a late one here just to try and restore some scoreboard pressure there, as Traralgon have just played on their terms in the last 10 minutes. Deep boundary throw in. Oh, Butcher works his opponent under the ball. Ball handballs over the back to Bedgood. Goes behind him. Brunt handballs out the back to Whelan. Whelan chips the ball inside 50. That's a lovely kick again from Whelan. Pretty sure he was the one that kicked it inside 50 to Bedgood earlier on in the quarter. This time he finds his teammate in Alex Carr. Looks to get a late goal here for the Eagles and get that margin back out towards 19 points. As I just mentioned earlier that the Carr boys have been a bit quieter this quarter, and here's Alex popping up.
Yeah, 4 apiece to the Carr boys, and they were 6 and 8 in the first quarter.
Carr on a slight angle, kick from about 40 metres. Ball on the boot, hangs it to the left side. It's gone up work its way back nicely, works it just inside the left-hand goalpost. That's a much-needed goal there for the Eagles as Traralgon look to be mounting a bit of a challenge. That just puts a minor halt to that, and it's just a goal late that Traralgon didn't need to give up or didn't want to give up.
7-10-52 the Maffra score. They are 19 points ahead of Traralgon on the Greenham Gippsland scoreboard. The Maroons are 5-3-33.
What are the centre clearances this quarter, Paul?
Centre clearances are 4-2 Maffra's way.
Okay, so Traralgon have still got the edge in this quarter, or have they? 3-3, no, to 3-1.
It's exactly even.
Yeah, okay.
3-1 apiece.
Okay, oh yeah, of course, I'm going off the scoreboard. So anyway, the ball bounced down. Cameron gets a tap. Taking it nicely too was Connor Little, but he can't find a teammate. Collison brings the ball in, lays a great tackle and gets a resultant free kick. Good on you, Collo. He's come off with the blood rule after getting hit hard. He tells his team just to settle, but you'd reckon they'd want to threaten that scoreboard one more time. He's just trying to take the heat out of it as Little goes towards the outer side. Tate Marsh is the target, and they find that target, outer side wing. Ambler provides an option inside the corridor. No, they're going to keep possession. They're going to wind it down. Not sure the thinking. I guess they just want to take the momentum away from Maffra, but they've given the ball back, or have they? No, towards the right half-forward flank. It's a 50-50 contest, and the umpire will eventually win that ball. So, near on 28 minutes gone, boys. We've lost a little bit of time when Collison came off, and we've had the 6 goals scored, but the margin is just a tad over 3 goals.
I don't mind them trying to take the sting out of it because they've had it on their terms for about 10 minutes, and a late goal there from Alex Carr just didn't want to get momentum going back Maffra's way, so they're just trying to nullify that, trying to get themselves a free kick now on the outer wing, and it's that man again in Collison. That could be 50 metres, and it is.
And Collison played for it. He put the hands up and went straight through his hands, and he said, look, I get no chance. And now he's got a chance for goal.
Let's have a look how far the umpire goes back now.
Now, he was closer the other time, I reckon, and he's going to be much further away.
Collison needs to kick this goal. This is a captain coach's goal.
19th disposal for the match.
I know he's not the coach, and I know he's not the captain. So, but he plays the role of both in a lot of ways.
A leader's goal.
On-field leader.
On-field leader.
On-field leader.
Collison, not much of an angle to work to deal with. Puts the ball on the boot. That's nice. There you go, Poppy. That's a much-needed leader's goal there from Collison. As Paul mentioned, that's his 19th possession for the game, for the half. Add a goal to that. He's been fantastic there for Maroons.
His leadership all year has been great, and he just showed that even just 2 minutes prior to that goal being kicked, where he wanted everything slowed down. I was a bit worried about that actual fact, but he won himself a free kick and got that goal that Maffra just probably didn't want him to get.
And that's a 13-point margin in Maffra's favour, right on the shadows of half-time. It's 29.5 minutes played, 6-3-39 Traralgon. Maffra 7-10-52, Greenham Gippsland scoreboard.
Butcher got the tap from the centre. Johnson came through and got the ball, but he got himself. and he got as a result of a good Connor Little tackle. So there'll be
I got
ball
confused.
up. Me too, actually. Cameron got the tap down, but he was illegal over the top.
Welcome to our world. 18 weeks of it, mate, we've had.
Butcher plays on quickly after getting that free kick. The smother from Cameron was good. It draws the ball short on his hands and knees. In fact, it wasn't smothered. It looks as though the free kick was paid to Danny O'Brien. This could be costly. He gives it back to Butcher. Butcher's got a shot for goal. He's offline. Thankfully for Traralgon, that would have been a disaster in the dying seconds of this second quarter. Remembering we've played more than 30 minutes.
We did have the blood rule, and we've had a couple of the footies go through for goals and a bit delayed coming back to the centre of the circle. Paul Carter.
Maffra 7-11-53, Traralgon 6-3-39.
So Hall brings the ball back into play, and they're on the outer side of the ground, and they've got the ball through that man, Zach Gray. He kicks it to within his half-back line. Free kick's been paid, and Maffra eager to threaten the goals again, but coming back with the ball is going to be Jack Johnston, who's been one of the better players for Maffra. He gives it off in the 1-2, gets it back. It wasn't the best play, but it worked out in the end, and whipping that ball in just before it went over the boundary was Channing, who may have a shot for goal after the siren. That's how close it is. No, plays on quickly, dodges around the man of the mark, gets within striking distance, kicks to the top of the square, ball falls to the front of the pack. Coming through nicely was Butcher, was it, or Johnson? I tell you what, it was Maffra. That's the main thing. Benchgood goes in and fights hard for the ball. Coming through also and fighting hard was Brutt. But Traralgon hold on as the siren goes, and they can walk proudly back to the half-time huddle, because it was a good 30 minutes of football after being challenged in that first quarter here at the Traralgon Recreation Reserve. At quarter time, Paul Carter confirming the correct score.
At quarter time, or at half time, what would you like, Poppy?
Half time, please, I'm sorry.
I've got it down as Maffra 7-11-53 and Traralgon 6-3-39. I think the scoreboard went one behind the wrong way halfway through the turn.
Okay, we'll confirm that and loads more to give you some around the ground scores, thanks to our friends at Carpet Country. They are really the people you need to see for all sorts of floor coverings, and it doesn't matter whether it's residential or commercial. Carpet Country will give you around the ground scores. We'll also talk about who's in line for our player of the day. It's the Gippsland Isuzu, and you can get award-winning deals from them right now. But it's a half-time break. We'll be back to discuss this game and give you loads more in just a few minutes' time.
The freshest way to start the day. Gabby and Dan, the TR Morning Crew.
And basically, new research has found that people who use more emojis get more dates and more fun time.
More loving.
Yes,
What?
loving.
Okay. With the wife, I might send her an eggplant. Maybe that...
What's your success rate?
Yeah, well, I've got 5 kids, mate. The whale with the squirt and blowhole.
No, I'm just saying that as a... I don't know, anyway.
He had
Let's concentrate on this game.
one bad game.
All right, here we go. Butcher up against Broadbent. Butcher goes bang with a big right mitt and gets 10 metres. Lays a good tackle. It was a fair tackle too, but it was a hard tackle, and Butcher shows what these sides' intentions are by hitting the contest hard. Gets 10 metres, and he's going to go again. Big Butcher's been put into the ruck. This time Broadbent gets it down to Collison. A quick kick under pressure, gets 30 or 40 metres, but it falls in the arms of Maffra's Winston Geishan, who plays on quickly, goes to centre half forward. One tap, two, pushing the back. Will go Traralgon's way, and Collison wants to take advantage, but the umpire says no. That would be too simple. Let's stop play, bring it back,
Slow it up.
give the ball back to Twite inside his defensive 50.
Oh, maybe Twite wants that.
Collison was away and gone. That would have been inside 50 before you could blink.
Twite plays on out wide, looks for his teammate and finds Zach Gray. He's only 5 metres in from the boundary.
Risky.
He chips one. Nice kick. Finds Hector. Right half-back flank. Just gesturing for a teammate to lead at him. Goes out wide just in front of the coach's box. Strong lead there from Broadbent. Fumbles the ball over the line. The boundary umpire doesn't really know what to do, and he will be asking to ball the ball
He's
back
paying
and
the
throw the
mark.
ball
Can't
back.
pay the mark.
Can't pay the mark. It was juggled across the line.
Yeah. Well done.
I think the boundary realised he made a mistake there, and he actually juggled the ball himself like the big Broadbent did when he got the ball back. But anyway, let's see if he gets this right. He's doing a good job. Let's bring the ball back into play, and it'll be Butcher v Broadbent again. Butcher uses his body, but he doesn't make full advantage of it. A quick tap forward, though, falls in the arms of Alex Carr, and they threaten forward 50. A free kick down play at downfield will fall in the arms of Tom Jolly. He'd be pretty happy with that. So from the boundary on his left side, can you believe that? He kicks to the man on the mark, and then he's forced to lay a good tackle. Collison comes in to get another touch, threads one through. Daltrey over the top, back to Collison. He's getting plenty of the ball, and he kicks it down the line. Geez, he nearly found a teammate in Lucky, who dove hard. Broadbent lays a tackle, but there's some numbers with Maffra. They give ground. Channing gives ground, keeps possession to Maffra. The 1-2 from Davis, and then through James Reid inside the centre of the ground before Collison fights hard, and he's going to try to keep that ball in. But can he? Yes, sir, he can. And it's good, desperate play.
Mate, let's talk about leadership too with Colo. You know, we spoke about the leadership he has on the ground. Him just coming back on the ground, his nose was broken, clearly broken when he come off the ground, and he's still racking up possessions. When you break your nose, sometimes it can go the other way.
Putting his head over the ball, as this time winning the free kick is Alex Carr, true centre wing. Gathers his thoughts off the ground, looking for his brother in Ed, feigns the handball, and he plays on. Going to go long and wide to the left-hand side. Johnson flies early, nudges the ball forward. O'Brien there gathers. Handballs looks to go over the top, but Daltrey cuts it off. Great follow-up tackle there from Zach Gray for the Maroons. Will hold the ball up. We'll have a ball up from Maffra's forward 50, right on the 50-metre line. 45-degree angle to their goal. This game is in the balance. Broadbent taps it down. Hector is there, winning himself a free kick, though. Too high there is Connor Little, and should relieve pressure here from the Maroons. Goes backwards, finds Bailey Cameron, or is that Jackson Hall? Comes out wide. It's a 2-on-1. In front there is Carr, gathers nicely, handballs over the top, finds Geishan, goes back to Carr. Carr looking inboard, again goes to that left-hand half-forward flank. That's a better kick. Finds Ed Carr. Ed Carr chisels one forward, and a strong lead there from Jack Johnson. Great work by the Carr boys, linking up through the middle of the ground. Johnson line up the goal from just outside 50 metres.
I was going to say how well that Traralgon were squeezing Maffra up, forcing them to play it out wide before they could get the ball inside. And again, but they let Jack Johnson just get enough space there to mark on the lead.
Not much they can do there to stop when you got a nice kick like that.
Nice kick. It was a beautiful kick. Yeah, it was.
So Johnson lining up for his 5th goal of the game. Stutters his way to the top of the 50. Kicks from right on the 50-metre line. It's going to go right to the line and hits a post. That's the 2nd time for him today, and that's the same post he hit in the first quarter. Minor score, first score on the board here for the Eagles.
Taking Maffra to 7-12-54 on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard. A 15-point lead over Traralgon with 6-3-39.
So Hall brings the ball back into play. There's been a bit of a change-up since they turned the ball over a few times in that first quarter from full back. String of quick, short kicks. They tried to thread their way through it. The end of it was the big fella in Van Warden, but he couldn't get a clean possession behind play. There's
a little bit happening behind play, Poppy.
Jackson Hall's one of them.
I think Brunt was a little bit late on a hit. Just can't pick up who the Traralgon player is at the moment. But it was an Ambler. Yeah, so Jackson Hall was in there just to help out.
Great, it was. Sorry there, Boxer.
That's all right.
So ball back with the play at the moment. The umpire will take control. It's just short of left half forward flank. Maffra on the grandstand side of Traralgon Recreation Reserve, kicking to the scoreboard end and leading by 15 points. Fleming gets a tap down, nicely done. Carr feeds it off and they threaten forward 50 again. Hall applies enough pressure on Brunt to cause Brunt some frustration, and it spills out on the intersection of forward 50 and boundary. There'll be a boundary throw-in.
Just renewing a bit of hostilities there as it's just simmering between Brunt and Jackson Hall. Boundary throw-in. Going to go right to the top of the 50-metre line. Ed Carr wins it nicely. Ducks inside. Handballs inboard. Finds Robbins. Robbins on the boot. Misses to the near side. A let-off there for Traralgon.
7-13-55 Maffra. They have got a 16-point lead on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard. Traralgon 6-3-39.
A bit too easy out of that contest there for Maffra, but anyway, let's see if Traralgon can't get their way through this zone. Hall goes short again. They've done that for most of the day. It started off not so well, but since that time they've been okay. But as soon as you say that, of course, A poor kick hits the man of the mark, and Yench finds the boundary line. In fact, out of play on the full. So it comes back through Maffra on the outer side of the ground. A free kick Traralgon's way. No, play on the call. Fighting hard over there was Daniel O'Brien. The boundary umpire will take control. It's still 65 metres from Maffra's goals. They lead by 16 points in the early minutes of this third quarter.
This is similar to how they started the game. Had a couple more goals on the board. So if Traralgon can just weather the storm and then bounce back strongly as Troy Forrest gets a clearance long down the line.
Nice.
That's a nice lead-up mark there by White Oak. Cameron White Oak on the outer wing. Goes long down the line. LaPraise sets himself. Hutt's back there as well. Goes to the back. LaPraise leads the race. But the boundary beats them both. And we'll have a boundary throw-in.
Bit unfortunate there. He used his body well to get a touch at the ball, but there's a free kick, is it?
I think it's just popped off his toe and gone out of bounds on the full. James Hutts is going to relieve pressure here. Goes long down the line. Nice defensive mark there. Looks to be Broadbent. Going to turn the ball over. He goes out wide, looking for Ambler. Ambler fumbles the mark with a bit of pressure and will have a boundary throw in.
We've just been sent a photo of Boxer, and this is when you really desperately need a visual. But
Guess where that came from?
Yeah, obviously Daryl's got nothing to do at work.
But the picture of Boxer looks like, well, it does look like King Kong. And, unfortunately,
That's when I broke my nose, if you really want to go into that.
It's,
Is that how you knew that that Collison had broken his nose?
I've broken it a couple of times,
yeah, but you wouldn't know to look at it. Ball left half forward flank Traralgon. O'Brien gets a quick kick actually for Maffra. He went searching for Walker. He put the mitts out but couldn't reel it in. A quick kick forward by Jolly towards Bedgegood. He grabs one go at it. Dropping the ball was pretty rough, I thought. But anyway, the pressure was good. And that's what got rewarded. Now, the big fella for Cameron, for Traralgon, feeds it off. And Hector, who's busy in that second quarter, as we told you, gives it off. The 1-2. It comes from Connor Little. And then over the top, they've overused this and under pressure. Maffra, you can't give them another chance because they'll hurt you for it. And this time they're going to hurt through Renoy. He runs through the square, kicks to the top, and Hall sets himself in the right position and takes a strong mark under pressure. The frustration from Butcher, though, is pretty obvious.
You would have thought that kick was coming from a Traralgon player.
Yep.
It was in the favour of Jackson Hall. And I thought Cade Renoy's got some wheels on him as well. He had 30, 40 metres in front of him. He could have ran inside 50. He could have also drawn a defender. He had Gaetian for a handball. Had so many options. And the one option that he did take was the wrong one, wasn't it, Boxer?
It wasn't. Renoy, I think he was trying to look for that kick over the back to Butcher. But when you're running at that pace, things are going to happen, and it did drop short.
Jackson Hall kicks out wide. Looks to find Collison. Deep in his...
It's a short option there. You'll take that.
No, it's not Collison.
Oh,
Ambler
no.
goes over the top of his head. Goes to Brunt. Brunt handballs the ball back to Johnson. Johnson. That is dangerous. They've cost themselves 3 or 4 goals, have the Maroons, with some scrappy kicks coming outside defensive 50.
Well, it's exactly the same as what happened in that first quarter there again. And, again, Groundhog Day for Johnson. He gets the first goal of the quarter, as he did in the first quarter as well. And another error, a costly error. It was that short kick inside, that little 45 to the real danger spot, and great pressure there by Maffra.
Similar pattern to the first quarter. Maffra have had 5 inside 50s. Traralgon have had none to this stage. It's a 22-point lead to Maffra on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard. Maffra 8-13-61. Traralgon on their halftime score is 6-3-39.
Apologies there to Collison. I think it was Troy Forrest who brought that ball inside 50 as Collison gets his hand on a clearance. Handball's over the top. Whelan cuts it off. He's tackled straight away by Daltrey.
Yeah, Daltrey had his hands on the ball but had no room to move. The Traralgon side desperate now to respond. They'll need to. That margin's just blown out a little bit to 22 points. Next score crucial. Nicely done. Broadbent taps forward. Collison, no. It's going to be young Troy Forrest, who was first player there for Traralgon. Over around to the Tad. Good numbers by Maffra. Fed it off. Collison another touch. Gives it back to Ambler, back to Broadbent, standing start, good smother, nicely done, and off they go. And this time it was through Jesse Ross. A free kick paid to that player, no advantage, so they'll bring the ball back. I thought they might.
I don't know whether this umpire wants to run with the player when he says play on, because there was 3 advantages now that he hasn't paid. It's been the same umpire all afternoon.
So Ross now left leg kicks to within 30 metres. What's the target there? I'm not sure, but Bailey's the first player ground level. In fact, it wasn't Bailey, it was Stevenson. Overran it, nicely done. A look away handball wasn't really good enough because Amber was under pressure to Cameron. Tell you what, the disposals aren't great, but they've got the numbers to ease the pressure now, and Cameron just needs to find a winner here. Can he? Over the other side of the ground, he's got a couple of options, one of which maybe was Lalive, but I can't really pick him up. And coming into land to hand was Connor Ambler. Umpire will come in and say my ball. 65 metres from Maffra goals. They lead by 22 points. We've played just on 12 minutes of the third quarter.
Only had the 1 goal so far, and that was from Johnson. That's in his third term. Johnson at a 10-minute mark. Knocked forward there by Fleming. Read off the pack there by Garrett. Gets a clearing kick. Hutz feeds the ball back to Renoy. Renoy goes back from where it came. Going to fly in the side. There was Thomas Bradshaw. Comes to ground. Goes through a couple of Traralgon pairs of hands. Great work there by Garrett. Clears the area again. Just a bit of kick-to-kick happening on the outer side. Davis puts his head over the ball. Nice little chip off the ground. Falls in the hands of O'Brien. Carr shrugs 1, shrugs 2. Gets a clearing kick. Inside 50. Flying from the back and just nudged underneath there by Yench. Clearing handball and a free kick for too high. Going to go the way there of Connor Ambler.
Great play there by Yench, wasn't he? He was just caught under the ball. He just did enough to nudge Johnson out of that contest and force the ball to ground.
Ambler having a good quarter, 6 touches now.
And he finds a teammate now as well towards that outer side. They look inboard, wanting to change direction. Does Troy Forrest, but he's going to go along the line, I'd say. He does. So it's 70 metres from Maffra's goals now, but it's still a long way from their goals, and that's where they need to be at the moment. Maffra threatened again on the end of a handball is going to be Danny O'Brien. Traralgon cut it off. They've cut most of the surges forward off, but they haven't been able to get forward of centre too much at all, whereas Maffra pressure has been pretty good. Connor Little takes the mark. Defensive 50 again. Looks to change direction. Not much run from the side or behind, so along the line he goes. Chisels one out. Doesn't find the man again. Needs to be spot on against a good side, and they're playing one today. Good quick handball by Bradshaw. Feeds it off. Opens the door. Standing start. Kick to within 5 metres of goal. Traralgon, front of the pack. Nicely done. Good mark. Good strong mark by Jackson Hall.
Jeez, he's a good player, isn't he? He does it week in, week out. One-on-one, and he won that easily.
Read the flight of the ball well. Clears it long out wide. It's going to go out of bounds in front of Davis. Josh Davis, the 2 helmet-wearing lads out there. Josh Davis wearing one. Daniel O'Brien wearing the other. O'Brien, the latter, coming off for a breather, as is Jackson Hall, swinging the changes both sides. As the ball is just near this near side. Fleming and Cameron. Cameron knocks it down, goes to Channing, to Maffra, feeds the handball back to Geishan. Geishan chips one inside to that man Davis. Davis looking inboard, has to go back over the mark. Goes forward, he's got a man in acres of space. It's Jolly, he can run on. No, it's not Jolly, it's Brunt. Does choose to run on the left boot, if you don't mind. Straight through the goals. Give a nice little salute.
I think he might have been ordering one beer at the bar.
Just the one?
Yeah, just the one for later on. Can you keep it cold till 5 o'clock and I'll come and have a beer with you as well. So
great goal.
It was a fantastic goal. He had so much time inside 50. It was between himself and Alex Carr. But he turned onto that left foot. Benny Brunt, the hero out of Maffra, kicks through another goal for the Eagles.
And on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, Maffra's lead now out to 28 points again. They are at the 15-minute mark of the third quarter, and the Eagles 9-13-67 are leading Traralgon 6-3-39. The Maroons haven't gone inside their forward 50 this quarter, and Maffra have had 9 inside 50.
I'm not sure if Coach Butcher would be too happy with Brunt. I mean, he hasn't exactly set the world on fire to start playing up to the crowd, but nevertheless, he kicked the goal, and Traralgon will go forward now. They'll go forward through Laprise. It goes into threatens forward 50. Stevenson's down there as well, also lending a hand. Could be lucky. They're inside their forward 50. Importantly, they haven't done that too much in the first 16 minutes of this third quarter, and the umpire will open up the pack of players, of which there is about a dozen and a bit.
What it does too probably is it tells the crowd that they've got him sucked in, so they'll just they'll continue to be at him most of the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, trap for young players, isn't it? Mind you, I would have done the same thing, so I can't talk. The Ball out towards the outer side, and there'll be a boundary throwing just 15 metres from Traralgon's goals.
Yeah, but you would have ordered 2 beers.
I would have. And that would
With each hand.
Yeah. And that would have been after, and that would have been after I kicked the point. Ball to be thrown back into play, boys. It's going to be cleaning up against Broadbent. And I reckon Broadbent got the tap out the back. Nice set play. Couldn't find quickly enough some room to move there, Traralgon, so the umpire will come in and lend a hand. In fact, he's picked out a free kick, has he, or not? No, he's just clearing the area.
Very demonstrative with,
Yeah.
with his gesturing.
What was it?
The
Demonstrative.
Demonstrative. He's
Yeah.
not a
You
monster.
tell me later with that.
Box. It's cleared out from defensive 50 through Channing.
Nice
Nice
mark.
strong mark there. Looks to be Jolly.
Brunt.
Or is that Brunt again? They look very similar. Brunt goes high and inside the corridor. Great work by Butcher. That's John Butcher. Danny ends up in the hands of Danny Butcher under pressure. That man there is Jolly. Jolly goes inside 50. Bedgood sets himself. Goes over the back. Johnson. Can he get his 6? Wheels around. Ducks inside. Chips the ball. Disciplined like to the top of the square. Reading it nicely there and cutting it off.
Well, they've got the overlap here if they go, but
50 metres.
oh well, okay.
Bobby, they don't like fast plays.
No.
It's the same umpire too.
It's a 50-metre penalty going the way of Traralgon, and the recipient being Gavin Stevenson finds himself just the defensive side inside the centre square, goes out wide to White Oak, comes in board, he finds Broadbent, been doing well. Collison goes back out wide, and that's Tate Marsh. Marks on the left half forward, he goes back to Collison, still inside the corridor, gesturing again. White Oak, the three of them are linking up nicely. White Oak wheels around,
out the
it's
back.
over the back, goes to Lalive. Lalive gathers, ducks around on the boot, can't quite get on the... Yes, he does. And volleyball style was Davis, can't find the line. Putting his head over the ball there looks to be Traralgon player there in Ambler, and tackled 3 metres out from goal. Down, ball up. Ruckman worked it down there. Great work by Fleming. Spills out to Geishan. Geishan hard up on the boundary. Amble's inboard. Renoy. Amble over the top to Channing. Leaves it behind. Great pressure there from LaPraise. That's Riley LaPraise. Goes across the face of goal. Great work by James Hutt. Sees the ball through for a minor score.
Traralgon's first score of the quarter comes at the 19-minute mark. It's a behind, taking them to 6-4-40. They are 27 points behind Maffra, who are 9-13, 67.
Demonstrative. Yeah. I'll write it down later and I'll break it down for you.
Okay.
All right, the ball with Maffra at the moment through Sammy Walker goes towards the outer side of the ground. They've got the numbers. Could be Brunt again who's got the ball. I reckon it is by that style and that left leg towards the outer side of the ground. But there you go. He kicked it, Brunt, did he? Towards the outer side of the ground.
Yep, it looked to be that left foot kick of Brunt. Collison again racking up another possession. He's been fantastic for the Maroons. Leading from the front. Left half forward flank. Called to play on. Looking for options. Handball's back to Gray. Zach Gray goes again out wide and finds Jensch. Jensch just playing a measured football. Ducks inside his opponent. Goes nicely with the wobbly kick though. Unfortunately not good off the boot. Goes over the back. Is it that man Ben Brunt again there, Poppy? Marks strongly inside defensive 50. And will relieve pressure. Still looking straight down the line though. Not prepared to switch play. Goes long and high. Works to the front is Reed. Play on, says the umpire. Two Maffra players spoil each other. Spills out to Tate Marsh. Goes inside 50. Flying from the back. There's Lucky. Goes for the second gather. Can't quite. Hutz just hacks it on the boot. It spills out nicely to Geishan. Handballs over the top to Carr. Oh, great work there by Collison. Cuts it off. Goes back to Daltrey. Daltrey in the centre circle. Goes out wide to Connor Little. Plays on quickly. Dumped as he gets rid of it. No downfield. Play on, says the umpire. Goes inside 50. LaPraise and Brunt again clears the area for the Eagles. Little sets himself.
Nice
Marks
take.
strongly in front of Cade Renoy. They're just amping the pressure up, the Maroons. They need to get some result on the scoreboard to make it count.
Risky kick, but a good one because it finds a teammate in Johnson who goes inside forward 50. They need to find a target and just can't. And that time it was Riley LaPraise on the half volley that led out nicely. The kick wasn't as good as it could be, and Collison gets another touch. He should make them pay, and he does. He finds a teammate. The free kick was paid, but he was lucky too. But we'll take it in Sam Lalive. He goes short. It's all Traralgon. Can he find a teammate? He can't. Broadband. Oh, wow. No, I didn't think that kick was there.
No.
Max Lucky was very much lucky to get that free kick.
It's called chopping the arms.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Called a free kick.
Oh, did he call a free kick?
Yeah, he called the free kick.
Yeah,
I just
sorry.
didn't see it there.
Yeah, you didn't see it. I was just trying to help Poppy
It
out.
was there?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought you didn't see it as a free kick. I thought you meant you didn't see it as the signal for a free kick.
Mark Collison, 11 disposals this quarter, a total of 29, and we've still got time to play in this third quarter.
Okay, probably best man on ground and his side trails by 27 points, but that can quickly go down to 21 if we can get this one through the big sticks, and I reckon we might have we? Lucky gets his second of the afternoon, remembering he got one in that second quarter, and all of a sudden that margin is bridged by just a further 6 points.
Taking Traralgon to 7-4-46 at the 21-point margin in Maffra's favour still on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard. The Eagles 9-13-67.
Game's very much in the balance. Just looking to the right of the broadcast box, the flags just about right there, just picking up a little bit, favouring that right-hand end. So if Traralgon can make use of just a little bit of breeze to finish off this third term, really put the pressure on the Eagles leading into the last quarter as we're back in the middle of the ground. Fleming and Broadbent. It's a bit of a half and half. Broadbent follows it up though. Handles out to Daltrey. Running away from goal. Goes back to Twite. Twite on the right boot. Well, sets a task there for Hector. Does really well, as does O'Brien. Brings it to ground out of bounds. Boundary thrown right in front of the Maffra coach's box here at Traralgon Rec Reserve. We are 23 minutes gone into this third term. Another goal here for the Maroons. Will just might be able to springboard them into this last quarter. Reading it off the pack there is Hector. Gets tackled strongly by Butcher. Clearing the area there is Ed Carr. Attacking it nicely though is Daltrey for the Maroons. Handballs inboard to Marsh. Over the top there to Forrest. Handballs back to Daltrey. Daltrey goes wide inside 50. And a nice strong mark there, Sam Lalieve. Oh, chips a ball, goes half volley. Chain of handballs, ends up with Ambler. Goes back in the Daltrey direction. On the left, ducks inside Renoy. Chips one back and finds LaPraise, which is where it all started. It's making life a bit difficult. LaPraise goes wide to the pocket. This time they find a target.
Is that Little again? He's going to play on whoever it is.
Plays on. Is that Little or Ambler? Ambler, I think it is, on the boot. Likes it off the boot. That's a great goal there for the Maroons. Or maybe not. Hold the phone. Umpires are just coming together just to discuss. Central umpire calls all clear. Goal umpire goes back and says, thank you very much. Great goal there for the Maroons.
Wow, what a comeback here by the Maroons. What I'm seeing right now, though, too, is just that little bit of body language from the Maffra side. A lot of hands on hips and a lot of guys walking around at the moment. And it's just on that flip side now, too. Traralgon up and about. They're using the ball a lot better than too. And LaPrez got that ball in really quick with Ambler. A great goal there to the Maroons.
Margin suddenly back to 15 points, and it's Traralgon 8-4-52, Maffra 9-13-67. That's on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard.
A nice goal there by Connor Ambler. Edges the Maroons closer, and all of a sudden I think Maffra might be getting frustrated and not being able to shake them off. In particular this bloke, Collison, who shakes off the tackle and handballs out, but an unfavourable bounce opens up the door for Bradshaw. That's Maffra's Bradshaw. Not that there's another. I just wanted to point that out as a quick kick forward from Robbins, falls short, and LaPraise takes the easiest of marks. He looks left, he goes right, the lead's on. It might go out the back or doesn't know. A good attempt to mark, but it wasn't paid, and Lamburn was that player. Quickly giving a handballs O'Brien to Butcher, to Carr, and they go looking for Bedgegood. Tackle over the top, taken high. It was probably there, unfortunately, for Traralgon, and Bedgegood will take the resultant free kick as Collison grabbed 1.5 meters then was the umpire wasn't looking.
Smart football.
Yeah, the umpire looked towards the goal. Collison was looking at the umpire, then stepped forward 1 metre. And that could be the difference, because Bedgegood will now need to kick from 52, and I don't reckon he can. He's a good kick. No, he goes short, looks for an option in the pocket. The option is a good one in Butcher. Well, he wouldn't be my first choice from this angle, because his kicking for goal can be at best 50-50, and he's got the boundary just 1 metre to his left. He goes short again, too easy, back to Bedgegood. Now that is pretty sloppy by Traralgon's defence. A big gap to work with opened up the door for Bedgood, the 1-2, two experienced campaigners exposed.
It was pretty smart, though.
It was smart.
They didn't expect it. He's drifted back. He's drifted forward again. They're all expecting Butcher to have a shot. Bedges has gone, no, he ain't going to have one.
No. So Bedgood now will ride this one because he's riding, watching it over his right shoulder. Bedgood, 45-degree angle, 15 metres out. Hooks it left if you don't mind. So I tell you what, they're having trouble just turning the knife at the moment. And Traralgon is still very much in this game. There's only 16 points the difference. At the moment, Maffra 9-14. And Traralgon, Paul Carter,
8 goals for, so they're 1 goal 10 ahead.
And this is, again, I'm going to bring it up again. This is where Traralgon have struggled to bring the ball back in play. They've probably cost themselves almost the margin, I would say, at least, in turnovers and goals against from scrappy kick-ins. This time Jackson Hall's going to go long and wide to the outer side. Lepre sets himself, gets nudged underneath the ball. Over the back there is Whiteoak, puts his head over it, gets a nice handball back there to Lepre. Under pressure on the left boot, scrappy kick forward. Davis there for Maffra, turns the ball over, ends up out there to Brunt. Brunt inside 50 and nice strong hands with that quick kick out of the play there. Falls in the hands of Tom Jolly. And he'll go back and line up for goal. 45-degree angle, will kick from about 45 metres. Seen quite a few shots on goal from around this distance from both ends. The end that Maffra kicking to, the breeze is going a little bit into the face of Jolly. So we need to kick it every bit of 45 to 48. Stutters his way through. He's going to get there. No, it does. He goes across the face and goes through behind as three-quarter time siren sounds. 28 minutes ticked over into this third quarter. Poppy.
Yeah, indeed. It was a quarter with no real highlights worthy of a Monticello's mention, but I tell you what...
On 30, Jackson Hawk on a little, and Hayden Hector all on 18. Also on 18 is Ed Carr from Maffra and Alex Carr 17.
Ball in the middle for the start of this final term, and we'll have a secondary bounce.
We'll give you some around the grounds shortly, thanks to our friends at Carpet Country also.
Still inside the centre circle. The ruckman go out of the game. John Butcher in the middle there for the Eagles. Knocks the ball forward. Cannons off a couple of pairs of feet, and we'll have another ball up. Third ball up.
First goal, absolutely crucial, isn't it, for Traralgon?
Yes, spot on, Bobby. As Collison puts his head over it, tackled straight away. Butcher just leaves it behind. Picked up out of the pack there from Traralgon through Johnson. Clears the area, goes in forward. Centre inside 50. Hector puts his head under the ball, tackled straight away. No prior opportunity. We'll have a ball up left half forward flank for Traralgon. As again, like Poppy mentioned earlier, they can get this ball inside 50 and get a goal early. Really big game on.
Nicely brought Ben.
Spills out to Ambler. Ambler gets a kick to the top of the square. Lepre's held on to. Too strong in front there of Hutz. Dylan Lepre takes a strong grab. You've seen him move down back in the first term just to shore up their defence when they were under siege. Now he's back in his traditional centre half forward, full forward role. And he'll line up to get that much needed first goal of this final term. Minute and a half into this quarter. Makes his way in. Likes it off the boot, he does. Lepre's.
Goal umpire says no.
I've got to stop watching the kicker and I've got to watch the goal umpire.
Yeah, I reckon he was trying to con the goal umpire at the moment, and it didn't quite work. If it would have been a big moment. A big moment for Monticello's. Don't forget, you can get Pepper Jack Shiraz and Cabernet Sauvignon even, for a super low $16.
8-5-53 to Maffra 9-15-69. Eagles by 16.
Okay, the ball brought back into play, and it's been done by Davis. Towards that outer side they go. It could have been Geachin even. Top of the square, it doesn't matter now because Traralgon is starting to mount another attack. Cut off at the pass there, and nicely done by Channing to find the boundary line. Was it deliberate? The umpire says no. So the boundary thrown will take place. 10 metres from Traralgon's goals. They're kicking to the scoreboard end. It seems to have produced the most goals today. Traralgon, I hope to keep that going. A quick tap forward, out of the pack. A quick snap on goal, out of play on the full. Unfortunate, because it would have been much needed. I reckon the player, was it Max Lucky, was it? He read it beautifully, just didn't quite finish as good as you would have liked him to if you're a Traralgon supporter. And now Maffra to bring the ball back into play.
Poppy, I'll just quickly do some scores for around the grounds. Thanks to Harvey Norman Furniture. Bairnsdale 3-8-26, the Langatha 20-16, 136.
They work off the pack there by Collison. We'll get back to those scores shortly. Chisels the ball inside 50. And that's great work there from Jacob Van Waarden. Scored a goal. Scored the first goal for Traralgon in the first term. 17 minutes into that first quarter.
He has to kick this.
Well, he does. And we said that about LaPraise as well.
Yeah, as a key forward though. Limited opportunities.
Makes his way in. Slide angle. Kicks from 48. It's going to go across the face. Pack's going to form. Hutz gets there. Flying in from the side there is Lucky. Can't bring it to ground. And a bit slow to get up. Just hobbles his way to the top of the square. Boundary throw in.
Someone has to explain to me one day why you run sideways to hit longer.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he would even know, but Lucky looks a likey type too. He's putting himself into the game. Nicely done. LaPraise takes it out of the ruck. He's taking ball and all, and the umpire says that free kick, dropping the ball.
Should not be holding the ball. That's not deemed as prior opportunity now.
Oh, it's not. Well, the umpire...
That's what LaPraise is appealing
explaining
for.
to the umpire as well. So the ball kicks towards half-back flank. Traralgon continue to apply the pressure. Collison squeezes one through. They haven't got a lot of room to move, but they're still keeping possession. But for how long? Not that long, because Bradshaw from the half-back flank looks forward, kicks to the advantage of... Well, not his side, that's for sure. Because Hall standing tall around just forward of half-back line. He edges the handball towards the boundary line, probably the best option given the pressure he was under. So there'll be a boundary throw in outer side of the ground, basically centre wing. Traralgon trailing by 16 points in the opening minutes of this final quarter.
Boundary throw in, Broadbent and Johnson. Broadbent to the front, nice tap down. Handball over the shoulder from Ambler. Falls in the hands there of Hector. Handball's forward. Going inside 50, a lead there. Lucky can't quite read it. Goes over the back to Maffra. Chisel ball inside centre square. Geishan runners off half-back. Over the top. Ends up in the hands of Butcher. Running through the centre circle. Goes inside 50. Bedgood's got the set. Traralgon opponent comes across. Holds onto his arm. No free kick, says the umpire. Front. And his opponent in Stevenson see the ball out for a boundary throw-in. Just 2 metres out to the right of the behind post inside Maffra's forward 50.
Just another quick score here for Sale. 5-15-45 to Morwell 6-5-41. And the reports out of the ground is that Morwell are kicking with a strong breeze in the last quarter. So we'll keep you updated as we go along there.
Could be the one, Boxer.
It's coming. It's coming.
He tipped it. Anyway, the ball thrown back in. Broadbent gets another touch to Ambler. Feeds, goes grandstand side, and he finds a teammate there in Connor Little. Can they get the ball out of their defensive 50? Then they keep the ball in play. They can. A nice little one-handed mark around about half-back line, and it was taken by Chance Daltrey. Goes inboard. He's desperate to find a teammate. He's going to go long, look for distance. LaPraise could be the target. He takes the mark as LaPraise. Play on's the call. I thought he took that ball at all. Hector feeds one out nicely over the top. They feed it through, pushing the back. Play on's the call, and now Maffra will get themselves out of trouble that maybe they shouldn't have. And a quick kick towards the half-forward line, and a strong man by Brunt. So Brunt in that left leg, a kick around the body. A shepherd was by Johnston, opens the door for Tommy Bradshaw, kicks towards goal. It's offline. The check side attempt is thin. And another minor score, 9-16. That makes it, Paul Carter.
That's right, 9-16-70 on the Carpet Country scoreboard. 17-point lead over Traralgon, were 8-5-53.
Did I talk about two upsets this round? Warrigal 7-3-45. They lead Maui 5-10-40. And the other game, Wonthaggi 10-11-71. They lead Druin 7-10-52.
O'Brien gets the kick in. That's Maffra's O'Brien. Handball to Carr. Carr from outside 50 goes inside for goal. Goes over the top and through for a behind. O'Brien caused a turnover from the Traralgon kick in and found the ball out to Brunt. Brunt handball to Carr, and the result was a behind.
Okay, so Hall will bring this ball back into play. Important he finds a teammate though. He's going to come, it's a risky play because he's going to come boundary side in front of the deck, but a good leg finds his teammate there in Connor Little. Little's got a couple of options. One short, chooses that option, and the option is with Benny Johnson. They go 1-2, back to Little again. Defensive 50. Few chances. I tell you what, they're playing some high-risk footy here. All taken high, and it was a risky play, but it paid off.
in the Mid-Gippsland Football League second semi-final played at Thorpedale. It's Yallourn North 12-9-81. They lead Hill End 7-5-47.
Okay, at the moment, with the ball is Maffra's Alex Carr. He's inside the centre square just. He'll try to pick out an option. There's a couple of gaps there that Traralgon have left. He'll kick to the top of the square, so he makes it a 50-50 contest, but they fly high. They do it easy, and it's that man again. It's Johnston, who plays on quickly because he's got a man spare, top of the square, and it's Butcher.
Ed Carr, I think it is.
Is it Ed Carr, is it?
I reckon you're wrong. I reckon it's Jolly.
It is Jolly. You've done it right, Tom Jolly.
I was one number off.
Yeah, you were. The best way to look at it.
Yeah.
Where have you been all year, Troy?
So Tom Jolly, top of the square.
One number off.
Well, a quick kick,
Isn't
and it goes straight through for another goal, and all of a sudden, Maffra have got them at arm's length.
I thought you said Butcher.
No, it's
Apologies.
that's twice as apologised to me today. It's fantastic that at least I get apologies when I get something right as well. But great ball sharing inside 50 there by the Eagles to get that much needed goal of the last quarter.
Maffra leading by 4 goals, although it's 2 goals 12 with Maffra 10-17-77 to Traralgon 8-5-53. Carpet Country scoreboard, 9 minutes played, final quarter.
So four goals even is one way to look at it. Another is 2 goals 12, because that's what it is at the moment. The ball back in the centre of reserve here at Traralgon. Nicely done by Plymouth. Got a hand down. Couldn't find a teammate. The player there was Channing. He was taken high. Free kick paid. In fact, it's Carr, Alex type.
Poppy, thanks to Scud, we've got a score in the basketball. Australia 97, leading the USA 94 with 42 seconds to go.
Fantastic. The ball thrown inside forward 50. Punch from behind. It goes, it's all Maffra at the moment. Let's hope this doesn't open up. Bed's good. Couldn't quite wheel it in. Hall can. He's been one of their better players. Pretty steady today. Goes towards the outer side. Finds a teammate. And I reckon that could be Forrest, is it? It is. Defensive 50. Quick shoot around of a few handballs there by Maffra. It went from Brunt to Whelan, and now they're going to go over the top more in hope than anything else, but they've got the numbers to take some chances. Inside forward 50, Robbins. He's taken, keeps the ball in just for a moment. Now, Hector, quick kick forward towards the outer side. Front of the pack was Van Warden. Couldn't take the ball. Taken high was White Oak, so he'll take the free kick on the right half-back flank.
White Oak. Handballs quickly inside to the big ruckman. He's tackled straight away. Back to White Oak. Looking for an option. Can't find a runner. Does a big 360. Oh, Tate Marches
Must have lost it in the sun, maybe.
Must have lost it in the sun because he let it bounce 2 metres in front of him. He goes inboard. Looks for his teammate. Looks to be Forrest. He goes down the line. Great work there by Lucky. He likes to have a fly of the ball. Got a good set of hands. Goes to Hector. Hector chips one inside 50. Great work. LaPre's strong lead up mark. Going to get it in quickly. Goes to 20 metres, 30 metres out top of the square.
Oh, taken off the ball. Free kick to Traralgon, surely. Yep, sirree. Well, if it was, it paid the mark. But I tell you, taken off the ball really unfairly there was kind of little. So Traralgon will get the resultant opportunity, and it was with Stevenson.
Yeah, flew in from the back and took a nice strong grab. Line up for goal. 25, 30 metres out. Low trajectory. Shanked that one.
What was that?
That's like coming off the toe of the golf club, or the heel of the golf club off the first tee when you got the nerves on. And he just shanked it, just made it through for a minor score. Maffra bring the ball back in. Paul.
8-6-54 Traralgon, Maffra 10-17-77. Carver Country scoreboard, almost 12 minutes played, final quarter.
Ball on the outer side of the ground, and Traralgon applying some good pressure through Hall. The pressure was on Ed Carr. Traralgon run away with the ball now. They do it well. Can they find a winner here? They need to, but no, it's going to fall short in the arms of Geesh and Winston type. Moxa?
We've got a three-quarter time score in the qualifying final in North Gippsland Footy League. Yarram 12-24-96 to TTU 3-3-21.
Cade Renoy relieves pressure for the Eagles. Goes long wide. Fly from the back in Butcher. Third chance off hands. Can't bring it in. Clearing the area there is Jackson Hall. Oh, great mark in front. Not paid, says the umpire. Play on another play.
Decent magic moments for Monticello's left, right, centre.
He's been involved in about 4 of them. Chain of handballs. Ends up at the feet of Carr. Fumbles at a critical time. Turnover. Ambler, 1-2 handball with Forrest. Handballs out wide to Daltrey. He's been very good today. Goes long and high. Flying in from the side there is Lucky. Great spoil. Dan Warden. Leave gets it to the top of the square, but no one there for the Maroons. And Sam Walker takes a defensive mark right up in his left back pocket near the behind post.
All right, let's see if they can clear the area here. Traralgon haven't given it up, that's for sure. They're still pushing forward, but not making the most of their opportunities. Ambler had a chance there as well and couldn't find the goals. From deep in defence, they go towards left half-back flank. Good high fly, but out the back of the pack it goes. And there'll be a boundary throw in. Right half-forward flank, outer side of the ground. Traralgon kicking to the scoreboard end, but trailing by 23 points.
13 and a half minutes gone. Right half-forward flank for the Maroons.
If you're looking for a best-on-ground performance, thanks to our friends at Gippsland Isuzu. They tune in for that after the game.
Jackson Hall flies, can't bring it down. Putting his head over the ball on the outer wing out there for Maffra. Ends up with Carr. Chisels the ball inside to Davis. Davis plays on quickly through the wing. It's a one-on-one. Inside 50, Johnson. Can't bring it to ground. At ground level he looks to go.
Had to be a free
Goes
kick.
in low and goes in hard, does Jack Johnson. Wins himself a free kick for in the back.
Well, they kicked 7 last week. What's he sitting on now?
5. Line up for number 6 for Johnson. With 13 in 2 weeks after how many in the first 16?
16 in the first 15 weeks and now 13 in 2 if he gets this one.
Very good return there, Johnson. He's been very lively up the forward line.
Makey, just some news just from the basketball because Daryl's pretty excited, so we'll make sure everyone knows. For the first time in 55 years, Australia have beaten the USA.
Well done. Was that, is that a world title?
94, so
is that the world champs or is that is that the Olympics?
It's a World Cup.
Oh, it's a warm-up. Okay.
Yeah.
Back at Traralgon Rec Reserve, Jack Johnson likes it off the boot. That's number 6, directly in front, 40 metres out, and gets a handy little buffer there for the Eagles in this final quarter.
Johnson's 6th goal takes Maffra to 11-17-83 at the 15-minute mark of the final quarter. They now have a lead of 29 points. I'll let you guys work out whether that's enough. Over Traralgon, who are 8-6-54.
I tell you what, that's a good result though by Australia to beat a side with LeBron James in it. Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons plays for Australia, but you're not bad, Poppy. Jesus. And can I remind me to wear a raincoat next week when you're standing behind me making the call as well?
I mean, I'm working in a tight spot here. The ball kicked out of thin air by Maffra towards the half-forward line. Who's going to be first player there? It's going to be Traralgon, and they go searching for a teammate. Maffra have just lifted the tempo a little bit. They got the numbers around the ball. One of those numbers was Gippy, gives it back. On the end of it, it's going to be O'Brien. Goes short, one helmet to the other. Josh Davis, right half-forward flank, or just short of, in front of the Maffra coach's box with his side leading by 29 points, which will be enough. Kicks inside forward 50. 3-on-1 Traralgon takes the mark. Hall, nicely done. One of the better players. Plays on quickly. Off they go. Collison gets another touch. Doesn't burn it. He's been pretty consistent all day. Bailey to White Oak. White Oak plays on quickly. They've got the man on the overlap now and they need to work it quickly. Here they go. Outer side of the ground. One bounce. Kicks inside forward 50. Can they find a winner here? Lucky. He's back downfield kick. We'll go to Lucky.
No, it was might go to Lucky. Yeah, it was Jason Garrett on the outer wing.
All right.
So he kicked the ball, just got pushed in the back.
Can he find a winner here? Labre's top of the... He's got the ball. Hector. Oh, geez, he worked himself beautifully and earned himself a free kick. It was maybe touch and go, but it's a free kick nonetheless. Now, normally you'd write these sort of things down, but Traralgon today just maybe not as bad as
he's been good today, Hector. I think,
he's been one of the better ones.
I think I reckon he'll drill this through.
All right, well, they need to.
I reckon you don't stop. I reckon you don't talk about the goal kicker now. Talk about something else, and then don't put the moz on him, and you'll kick the goal.
So USA beaten for the first time in 50 years by Australia, which was a great result. And let's see if that made a difference.
It did. Made a massive
well
difference.
Well done. Good work.
It's just to distract you away from the fact that the stuff that you do put people off, even though they can't hear.
The commentator's curse, eh?
And the curse is gone now. I think we've just...
full stop.
No, not full stop. Only when he doesn't talk, I suppose. But that's a great goal there, and great reward there too for Hector. He's had a fantastic day, and he's been a massive support there for Collison and a lot of other Traralgon players. But I don't know if that's just going to be enough.
and back to 23-point lead Maffra's way, and it's almost 18 minutes played in the last quarter. The Carpet Country scoreboard, Maffra 11-17-83, Traralgon 9-6-60.
Well, a couple of the panels said the margin was going to be around about this. As Broadbeck gets a tap down, searching for Collison, couldn't find that player. Collison got one on the nose. You don't want that when your nose is broken. Ask Nick Lucchino. Look at his nose. The results can be terrible.
Let me tell you, when I broke my nose, probably the third time, this happens.
Yeah.
So you play the game and then you do end up getting another one straight in the basket.
All right, here we go. Wide open with the ball. Left-handed handball towards Daltrey. He's under pressure, but he's good enough to settle. Gives ground, but keeps possession and finds his teammate there in Zach Ray. Zach Ray equally finds Riley Laprise, top of the square, brother to brother. Oh, I thought taken off the ball unfairly. Umpire says play on. A quick kick off the ground, wide open, over the top. Thank you. How easy is this? Forrest, I reckon it could have been.
It's a great build-up.
It was Forrest who kicked the goal, so all of a sudden the margin back to 17 points after 2 goals in succession for the Maroons, Paul Carter.
10-6-66 Traralgon. They are trailing Maffra still, but it's only by 17 points now. 11-17-83. They've just kicked over the 19-minute mark of the final term.
Have they got a chance, Mikey?
Yeah, I was just about to ask the same question.
Wow.
I think the last quarter went for about 28 minutes, so by my calculations, Boxer, with it being 19-minute mark, we've got 9 to go.
Well, the margin at three-quarter time was 17 points. We're at 17 points now, so they need to, again, get the next goal, and you might see a rush of blood and a spring in the step at Traralgon, but they need to win the centre break, and they can't just at the moment. But holding it for a long time, I thought there was O'Brien, dispossessed, nicely done. Laprise comes in. Can he find a teammate? Went searching for. Yeah, off they go. They can't thread it through. Zach Gray was the player, and now Maffra will get another go at it, and they'll kick to space. And leading the race is Maffra, 2-on-1. Nicely done, though, to stop Johnson. Or just a moment, Johnson, a left-handed handball. It's going to be a risky move over the top now to Bradshaw. Bradshaw from 55. A big kick for goal. Needs a winner here. Ball's out the back of the pack. A free kick to Traralgon. Last line of defence goes to Cameron.
Oh, they've paid the advantage this time.
The advantage. Here we go.
Different umpire there, Boxer. But it's not going to pay off, though, as Renoy cuts it off. Leaves it behind, though. Now the pressure comes. This time from Forrest. And we'll have a ball up, true centre wing, outer side.
Making just a quick update score. Ball versus Sale. It's a 26-minute mark, and it's a point lead to Sale at the stage.
26-minute mark.
Correct.
Not long to go. Ball on the outer wing. Fleming knocks it towards boundary side. Working out there is Whelan. His handball smothered. Cut off. Great work there by Walker. Weaves his way through the pack. It's a hurried kick. Cut off by Twite. He's going to get run down from behind by Jolly. Has enough time to get a handball away. Daltrey. Handballs back to Ambler. Linking up through Hall, through the middle of the ground. Chips one out wide to half forward. Finds the lead. Push for lead. 60 metres out from goal. Weighing up options. Has Jackson Hall in board. Doesn't use him. Goes to the pocket. And it's Laprise. Strong lead. Lovely kick by Lalive. And Laprise can line up for goal. He's on a tight angle. Right in front of the can bar where it was Brunt who ordered a beer earlier on in the third quarter.
And it's probably still sitting there waiting.
Probably still sitting there. Probably won't be cold though, Boxer. Laprise opens up the angle. Kicks from 50. It's not going to be accurate. It's going to fall inside the line, but everyone leaves it behind. It goes through for a behind. Lock it in is a scream from the boundary line.
10-7-67 Traralgon on the Carpet Country scoreboard, 16 points behind Maffra, 11-17-83. We're now coming up to the 22-minute mark of the final turn.
Well, I wouldn't have thought that beer is still sitting there on Pudd's Bar if Peter Black's down there, or Brian Quigley, or in fact any former Traralgon player.
The ball brings the ball back in. Johnson sharks it up the pack, tackled straight away. Collison back on the ground, patched up. Jensch tackled instantaneously as he picks the ball up. And we'll have a ball up 70 metres from Traralgon's goal. There's that leadership we were talking about earlier, Boxer. Collison goes off for a second time, gets patched up, straight back on the ground to try and will his side, just to get that one more goal, just to put the pressure on the Eagles. Trying to get the ball out was Jensch. Handball's out to Broadbent. He's tackled, can't find a clean handball. And O'Brien put his head over it and tackled by Jensch. We'll have another ball up.
Siren's gone down at Sale, and Sale have hung on by 1 point.
Ball half-forward flank. Traralgon are hanging on by the hair and their chinny chin. as getting a good tackle on Carr. Collison goes in, broken nose and all, lays a good tackle. Hector says, how about that one? Umpire says, yes, sirree. Now plays the advantage. Yes, he does.
He did not.
There you go, Boxer.
Here he goes, and the quick kick forward as Laprise went back. The kick by kind of Little went short. Now Maffra have the ball. They change direction. They go towards the outer side of the ground to Butcher.
Lambourne finds Butcher. Butcher off one step. Not a very good kick. Goes out of bounds in front of Thomas Bradshaw. I'll give you around the grounds too, Boxer. Melbourne have just kicked it behind. 4.5 minutes to go down at Bellerive Oval. It's Melbourne 82 leading North Melbourne 81. And big Toddy Goldstein's just marked the ball strongly out on the wing.
Do we know how many goals Benny Brown's kicked today?
Oh, I've given away a free kick. Sorry, I'm commentating this.
Yeah.
They had the leaderboard up before. I'm pretty sure he's about 6 in front.
Okay, so we've got a side that's a bit down, but a quick kick for goals by Laprise is offline again. So they edge closer, but they need to edge closer quicker, Paul Carter.
15-point margin in Maffra's favour. 11-17-83. Traralgon 10-8-68. Carpet Country scoreboard. Almost 24 minutes played now.
And it's going to take a big moment for Monticello's to get Traralgon back in this game with only a few minutes to spare. Something pretty special. What about this for a special? 20% off any 6 or more bottles of wine every day. See in store for details.
Long kick in. Butcher marks strongly. John Butcher, 60 metres out. His defensive goal from the kick in. And slow things up. 24 minutes gone. Time has run out for the Maroons. As Butcher's kick goes to Bedgood and spoiled over the line there by Bailey Cameron. The boundary throw in, true centre wing out of side. We've probably only got about 3 or 4 minutes left to go in this game.
Makey, Maui have clawed their way back to the lead as well against Warragul. 7-16-58 to Warragul 7-4-46.
Boundary throw in. Broadbent and Fleming again. It's been a great battle between the two young ruckmen. End up out in the hands of Whelan. His kick off one step, goes to half forward. Bradshaw can't win it off the pack. Comes to ground, holding the ball. Free kick going the way of Jackson Hall. They need to launch one last attack to the Maroons. Moves it on quickly. Daltrey can't gather. Comes out to Little. Little chain of handballs. Goes inside 50. Lucky flies and grabs.
He's
Play
good,
on,
isn't he?
says the umpire. Shrugs a tackle. Comes to Forrest. Forrest on the boot.
He's missed it.
And fades across. Gray behind. Must have been touched off the boot, was it? Did you call
It was
Boxer?
touched off the boot. Yeah, that mark was not paid for that reason.
Tell you what, Lucky looks a type, doesn't he? I like the way he plays. Haven't heard much of him this year, but he's got a bit for sure.
Traralgon leading by 14 points. 25.5-minute mark final court. Sorry, Maffra leading by 14 points.
All right, Traralgon will grab the mark in front of the pack. They'll do it through, I reckon that's Hall again. Not 100% sure, but Laprise, I am sure of this one, and that's Hayden Hector, I'm sorry.
He's got a big kick. He has got a
Gets
big
a
kick.
kick for goal, so he's going to have to bring out something special here, and he chooses to go short to Collison, who made a leader's lead to within 40 metres, so he needs to work back quickly and kick this one accurately, and even then they're going to get another 2 more with a handful of minutes to spare, maybe not even, so it's a big ask.
And this is disposal number 36 for Colo.
Probably a best on ground performance in a side that's trailing by a few goals. It's been pretty special. And Collison now walks this one in the slightest of angles. He'll kick from 45. Off the boot, looks okay. It drags across the left-hand side. It's not going to make the distance. Lucky flies high. Another minus score. They edge closer, Paul Carter.
10-70, their fourth successive behind. It's a 13-point deficit. Maffra 11-17-83. Carpet Country scoreboard.
Maffra bring the ball back in and finds Whelan. Still in his left back pocket. He'll chip the ball over the top. Finds his teammate there. Out wide. Still inside defensive 50. That was Lambourne. He goes long and wide. Over the top to Johnson. Johnson handballs inboard to Carr. Carr shrugs the tackle. Has runners inside. One of them is Butcher. The handball's down at his feet though. He's under pressure. Comes great work by White Oak. Great gather there for the Maroons. He's met solidly as a couple of players down inside the centre square. Broadbent for Traralgon goes inside 50. Walker has a set mark strongly. Defensive mark there for the Eagles. Gain just to relieve pressure. Get called to play on. Just drifted off the line. Has enough awareness about him. Handballs to Reid. Reid goes out wide. Looks to be maybe Jolly on the outer left half back.
So here we go. Jolly now, left half-back flank along the line towards the outer side wing, broad bent front position out the back. Butcher couldn't take the ball. Nicely done. Collison inboard to White Oak over the top. Here we go. Look at this, boys. Could be another shot at goals because LaPraise will take the mark. And on a pretty tight angle, but from 20 metres out as the siren goes, guys. At the moment, the score is Traralgon 10-10-70, Maffra 11-17-83, 27 minutes, 59 seconds goal, and LaPraise to bring the margin back to just 7 points, which in itself was a pretty good effort, but it doesn't get them a win. The kick off the boot is through for a goal, as it would be, of course, when the pressure's right off. So a nice finish to a pretty competitive day by Traralgon, who really took it up to the league leaders after they jumped out of the blocks and set the bar pretty high. But to their credit, the Maroons fought back hard and they could hold their heads up high. Good luck to Maffra on the back of this, and we'll talk more about this game and other games in Gippsland, Latrobe and all around Gippsland football leagues. We've got grand finals happening. We've got qualifying finals, elimination finals, first and second semis, and loads more, as well as giving you our best on ground here, thanks to Gippsland Isuzu. A quick break, we're back to Traralgon Recreation Reserve, all thanks to Harvey Norman Electrical.
There are no bells in this commercial. There are no whistles in this commercial. There is no fancy background music. There are only these facts. Sale Ford will not let you waste time. Sale Ford will not let you waste money. This time of year, every car yard is offering all sorts of deals. Sale Ford York Street Sale will not waste your time or your money as you search for the best deal. Sale Ford has it. Sale Ford won't waste your time and will save your money. Sale Ford, part of Sale Motor Group, York Street Sale, LMCT 6106.
Harvey Norman Mammoth Sale. Up to 12% off Apple Mac computers. 10% back in Harvey Norman gift cards on selected LG OLED TVs. Simpson washer and dryer package only $777. Klein Fabric Modular Lounge Suite including 2 reclining actions only $1,699. In